just stroke the furry wool. With the furry wool. With the furry wool now.
Dad! Stop bullying my mate!
Oh, you sound just like your mum.
That's about my mum.
How's it going, everyone? This is Frank Cavone,
I'm Doug Quimby.
and we are Kinda Live.
Kinda Livin.
This is episode 36 of the Kinda Live, Kinda Livin podcast. Thank you all for tuning in once again. As all of you know, you can listen to the Kinda Live, Kinda Livin podcast on iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. So wherever you are,
You can watch. You can listen to us.
you can listen to us in the car, at work.
Stay distracted.
If you're,
Shoveling your driveway. We're supposed to get snow tomorrow.
Yeah, we're supposed to get snow tomorrow. If you're shoveling, this is the way to go. But we're here with two very special guests. We have Lazarus Brown of Everlazt Designs and C-list celebrity Sam Luke. What's going on, guys?
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we're just really excited to have both of you guys. We wanted to get you guys in at some point.
Just saying audio is weird.
Audio is weird. All right, let's check the audio quick.
Audio is weird.
So,
Hopefully we're not echoey.
yeah, hopefully we're not too echoey. Please let us know how it's sounding. And, but yeah, so how has your guys' week been?
Speaking for myself, it's been crazy. I'm in the yearbook biz, which is a pretty niche biz. Whenever I tell people I work in yearbooks, they kind of look at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, I guess somebody has to do that. Somebody's got to be working in the yearbook business. So this is the seasonal crunch for me right now. We're getting our covers in, and get those off to production so that we're not halting anything. So I've been very busy, but it's going well. Christmas break starts very soon, so I got this is like the kind of the pay dirt week for me. So after this week, I'll be cruising free for a couple weeks and just get to, relax at home and enjoy some lush home activities.
Definitely, man. It's definitely good to definitely wind down whenever you can. And Laz, what have you been up to, man? I know you've been pretty busy.
This week I finished a poster for Groove Stick and Hilltop, and that's going to be a special show because I met Reed and Dave from Hilltop at a Groove Stick show, and Groove Stick was playing with Strange Machines that night. And
Keep the hat,
shout
children.
out. So it'll be nice. It's been like 2 years since I met those guys, and now they're finally playing a show together. And
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really special.
So when is that show going to be?
It will be January 18th, 2020.
And for those who don't know Groove Stick, there is a couple members, or is it just Dan from Timbercoop?
Dan from Timbercoop. Yes.
Oh, it's okay. Okay,
Sweet.
Cool. Doug, what about you, man? I know you've been pretty busy.
Been pretty busy. The other day me and you worked shooting New York players at this
Yes.
one private party, which was
It was
those
insane.
guys are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
they
We worked with
covered a
Matt
lot.
Barron, too.
Yeah.
Yep, no, it was cool to see him. And yeah, they played a lot of pop covers, but like they were rocking them out. Like if I wasn't behind man in the cam, I would have been getting down on the dance floor with these people.
Yeah.
Most definitely. So that was a good time. And then yesterday, went Christmas tree chopping, which was pretty cool. But it was my
Chopping, not shopping.
Chopping?
A little bit of both,
It's a
actually.
hybrid.
A little bit
It's
of
a
both.
hybrid.
I kind of did both.
Chopping.
Trying to find a fun way to say that. We'll circle back to that for sure.
Yeah.
I went shopping some Christmas trees, something like that.
So that was a pretty cool experience. Never really did that before, and we used my.
The thing is
girlfriend's
looking
car.
pretty lush and looking pretty lively over there.
That's what we opened up with.
Yeah. That was our opener. Trying to mix it up for you guys. You know?
Yeah. But it was definitely a cool experience. I was really worried I was gonna get caught in the mud with my girlfriend's car because it's not really four-wheel drive, not really meant for mudding. But
Yeah.
that's what the Christmas trees are. You got to go to where they are. But ended up working out. It was actually a pretty cheap deal. It was out in Fort Ann. I can't.
Where does one in the vast city of Lake George buy a Christmas tree? Where did you travel to?
You go to the east bumfuck Fort Ann. You go to the farmland.
Okay.
You drive out. I didn't even know these roads existed.
Yeah.
So I live in Christmas tree country. So
Oh, do you?
Dude, they're and every 5 minutes, in whatever direction I drive, there's a Christmas tree farm.
Oh, okay.
5 minutes away. And my first job was working on a Christmas tree farm. So I like to, call myself I'm a Christmas tree guy. I know quite a bit about Christmas trees. Balsam fir, Douglas fir. What you looking for? Balsam fir, Douglas fir. Those are the only two I know. But, we got blue spruces up in the house too. All that good stuff. Yeah. So I get pretty jacked up about Christmas trees. Don't have one this year, but I like them.
They're cool.
Christmas trees definitely have their perks.
Oh yeah.
Because without a Christmas tree, you have no presents.
No.
Unless you celebrate something else.
Yeah.
Of course.
Kwanzaa.
You ever
Hanukkah,
just like
Hanukkah.
make up like a Christmas tree name? Like, yeah, that's the Kentucky Blue Needle.
No, but that's a great idea.
Honestly,
I love-
they probably have those at Boise games.
I like doing that sort of thing with people, though. If
Yeah.
somebody does something, I'll say, dude, like, you're in like a natural born Robert Scarsdale. And they won't, that's not a reference. I don't know who the hell that person is. But people will be like, 9 times out of 10, they don't want to like admit that they don't know who Robert Scarsdale is. So they're like, oh shit, that's right. I've heard that before. You're not the first person to say that. And then they look like a huge douche. No, I'm just kidding.
No, you know that happens sometimes. You see somebody in public looks just like you, somebody you know, or like I did a mistake like that too. Like Pink Talking Fish's drummer. I was
Yeah.
once I got my like enough alcohol in my system, I was like, dude, has anybody ever told you look like Seth Rogen? I was like, oh. Then I felt like bad after saying, but he's like, yeah, I get to all that. Like, okay.
But like a contemporary,
Yeah.
trimmed up a little bit kind of
That's
Seth
a good
Rogen.
comment,
Yeah,
right?
I would be really
I wish I
happy
was Seth
if somebody
Rogen.
said that about me. He was in a film with Charlize Theron recently.
Was he really?
And they were like getting after it. So if you want to compare me to that,
Dude, he also has his own
Fine by me.
cannabis
It's a
company.
flattering.
Is he really?
Yeah, dude, up in Canada.
no,
Dude, yeah,
right on.
he's killing the game.
Attaboy,
And he's also
attaboy, Seth.
does pottery.
Okay.
Yeah, he made a vase. Posted it
Yeah.
on Twitter the other
Man
day.
of
You can
many
go check
talents.
Go check it out. Nice.
What about you? What's you been
So
up to, man?
we took a week off. Shout out again to Joe Biss and Jess Turkoff for coming on the last episode. But yeah, I got to go. I went down to fish in South Carolina in North Charleston Coliseum, and it was just freaking insane. I got to go to the Providence show, which was awesome. Shot that, and then just the shows they played down in South Charleston were just. I got to cross a lot of songs off the list. One with my buddy Jake, who you know, and dude, it was so much fun and just like good to get away just for a little bit.
What
and,
was the
like,
biggest song that you crossed off?
There's
that
like
list?
10.
Yeah,
Really?
he got.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I'm-
it's like almost
I
too
got
much to
some
even
fire,
count.
yeah.
There was just a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a lot. Like, I'm just going to go through the sales just because, like, I do, just to talk about it, Fish just a little bit as, for those who don't know or haven't read the book, Fish is playing December 28th through the 31st in at Madison Square Garden. And if you need a place to stay, our good buddy over here, Sam Luke, has a hotel.
Yeah. It's
that he
actually
needs
still
to sell.
booked, and I haven't checked with like the policies or anything. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure as long as I cancel my room within 24 hours, but I do.
You might want to check into that because
Yeah, I
sometimes
sh-
it's like 72
Hotel Penn,
hours.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hotel Penn.
72
Especially
hours.
in the
I'll make
city.
sure I do it by Christmas.
Hotel Penn is
Yeah.
a great place. They have fan
Hotel-
art there, fan art show.
I
there.
suggest the St. Mark's Hotel. It's like $120 cash hotel. There's no amenities, no fridge. But
Nice.
if it's winter, there's actually these shutters. You can put all your drinks in there, close the shutters, and it's like the window, so it's like a little fridge.
It's funny
It's
because I
kinda
actually
cool.
checked this windowsill, but it's plastic, like like a smart young man. But I was gonna pop my cold snacks out here on the sill in hopes to keep them cool. But yes, if anybody is interested, I do still have a room booked at the Penn Hotel. You get off Pennsylvania Station, you walk right up the stairs, blasted in the face by the hotel,
Literally walk
directly
right
across the street.
Yeah.
So you're off the train, across the street. You can grab some libations while you're down in the station. Paper bag those bad boys, walk across the street to Pennsylvania Hotel, and then when it's time for the show, you walk right back across the street. You're getting like a full
That's if
frontal
you're not doing any
angle
after
on
shows, of
MSG
course.
from there. So yeah, if anybody's interested, contact Mirth Films, Frankie
Yeah.
Cavone, Doug Quimby. These boys right here can
We'll link you up with this guy.
give you my contact info. Yep. Hate to see it go to waste.
But yeah, so Charleston was amazing. First of all, the city of Charleston is beautiful. It reminded me at least of just downtown Saratoga, but at a bigger scale on the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
We saw dolphins swimming on the shore, which was wicked sick.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, when it came time for the show, the Friday show, this was the tour closer, and just I forgot, I didn't know if I mentioned this. This whole fall tour, they didn't play a single single song.
Yeah, no
Which makes me think,
repeats.
are they going to go into New Year's run not playing the same songs
Mm-hmm.
at all? Because they left a lot of, like, like openers, like mid-level songs, like to mix in with the bangers, there's a lot of possibilities.
Well, if Baker's dozen taught us anything, it's that they can play a long stretch of shows and still have a lot of material, like really worthy material to play.
Yeah,
It's incredible,
exactly.
their catalog. It's nuts.
Totally. So just to start off, got the party started with Carolina Party, acapella into Party Time. Strawberry Letter 23, definitely chasing that. That was cool.
Yep. Shuggy Otis right there, baby.
Is that who was the original
It's
artist?
Shuggy Otis, original artist, and then the Brothers Johnson covered it and did a really awesome version. I actually prefer the Brothers Johnson version, but you know the song Hand Jive from
No.
Grease? Gone the hand jive, baby. So that was Johnny Otis. There used to be the Johnny Otis show back in like the 50s, who was Shuggy Otis's father. And then Shuggy Otis, many years later, came out with Strawberry Letter 23.
How
along
was
with a
the
lot of other
solo
songs.
that they did for that? You know, when it goes off, it's
I mean, it was, I wouldn't say it was like ripping, but it was like Trey was like playing the melody, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Like, I gotta say, like, I didn't know much of the song. I remember hearing the Strawberry Letter 23 from some hip hop sample at first, but
Girl Talk.
Was it Girl Talk? Who
I
does
know that Girl Talk did sample that on the song.
Okay, I have no
very
idea who it
tasteful
was,
as
but
well.
yeah, it was sick. I've Been Around was super cool, which Fish played that. And then I got my first Destiny on Balance. I was hunting that song.
Yeah.
Sloth, that was cool. My friend, mixed in some Kavitz Vot. About to Run, Ghost of the Forest song. Some highlights of the second set. The Sense of Subtle Sounds with the intro was super sick. Into No Quarter. That was insane. A little bit of chilling thrills from Halloween with Your Pet Cat. Mercury. And every time I hear Mercury now after going to New Year's Eve, me and Jake were talking about, it's like, all I can think of when I hear that song is the people coming down, the screamers, and just waiting for the ball to drop. Saw it again, and then the Lizards, that was sick. Picked up my
Oh, they
third
played
Lizards.
Lizards. Oh, man.
Lizards.
I saw that at one of my first Fish shows before I really knew Fish.
No way.
So it was completely lost on me. Everybody's like bugging out, like, "Oh my God, the Lizards!" And then years later, when I, became, once I read the book,
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy Toledo! I saw Lizards, and I didn't even know what was happening." So I've been searching for that second Lizard. It's almost like it's gonna be my first.
Yeah, no, I feel
Lucky
ya.
dog.
Encore, Bittersweet Motel, that was
Yeah.
that was fucking awesome. And then they changed the lyrics to because they were in Pittsburgh, from halfway from Charleston to Pittsburgh instead of, I forgot what the normal lyrics are. That Don't Hurt Very Long. Super happy to get my first one of those. The Saturday show was insane. Fluffhead opener. We got Nelly Kane, little bit of bluegrass. The Dogs,
yeah.
Reba, picked up my first Reba. That was sick. And Half the Way to the Moon. Usually that's like a slow song, and it just jam. It was really good. Train Song, Coyote, Strange Design, Moon Age Daydream, Ender. Second set, The Connection, Mr. Completely, Cross-Eyed and Painless, Dirt, Cool Amber. and
That's by
Mercury.
Goose, right? Cross-eyed and Painless. It's a
Goose?
song?
That is a Goose song,
Yeah,
actually.
okay, yeah.
David Byrne ripped him off.
Yeah. Goose.
Yeah.
Rick sold it to him back in, I think, the 70s or something like that.
Yeah,
I
he
think that's
liked
crazy
something
because he
about
wasn't
that.
even born yet, but he just had that kind of presence years before being born. That he was already writing songs for Talking Heads, which is sick. It's crazy.
Legit. And then Encore, Grind, and then Frankenstein, Page on the Guitar.
I've been chasing that one
Frankenstein?
for a long time.
That was cool. That was my second one. Baker's doesn't presented my first
Page on the
opportunity.
guitar. I've never
Dude,
seen
it was
that.
sick. Check out my.
I haven't been to a
check out-
lot of Fish shows.
Check out our
so-
Instagram page. You'll see a picture of it. I didn't get press passes for any of the shows, but I brought this little, we call it the party cam, but a little
cam.
Zoom pocket camera.
Yep.
And I'm getting a decent photo. And then
Sweet.
going into the third night, last night of tour, I opened up with Trey original Sigma Oasis, Buried Alive, Gula Papyrus. That was cool. My Sweet One, Brian and Robert, Alumni Blues, Letter to Jimmy
nice.
Page. That was cool. And then second set opener, After Midnight, Energy Soul Planet Wingsuit, Petrichor. I was like, what the fuck? And then but Rise Come Together, Boogie On, Encore, Pebbles and Marbles, which was sick. Isabella, Jimi Hendrix cover. They played that like 3
Yeah, and they
times.
played Fire earlier in the tour, which both of
That
those
was
are
the
pretty.
first
Those
show
are
I was
bust
at.
outs.
Yeah, that was insane, and it was cool. Like hearing some covers that I haven't heard in a long time, or just haven't heard. especially James Gang's Walk Away,
Mm-hmm.
Fish cover, second set ender in Providence. And but it was awesome, and I really am kind of upset that I'm not going to be making it to New Year's run. But like I've done 9 shows this summer, and I mean I got to see my 26th show, and you know there's always 2020. So,
Absolutely.
but but other than that, shit, I don't know.
We actually did a video with Stephen Pugh earlier, the owner of
Stephen
Stone Stash, and he actually created us a nice Mirth Films t-shirt.
Yeah,
Little
surprised us out of the
kaleidoscope.
blue.
That's very cool.
Took the logo that
It is
Jess Turcotte
awesome.
made, and
And
that
it
was
seems
sick.
like it's a very breathable kind of like
It's like
dry
Under
wicking
Armour.
material,
It's
which is
it's a
I don't know if
super
you
nice
guys can
t-shirt.
appreciate the lightweight nature that this shirt is cultivating right now, but it's
It
pretty
is
upper
really
echelon.
like it wouldn't be
pretty
something
upper
like,
echelon.
the texture wouldn't be something I'd wear.
Dude, I'm
but the
a
fact
fan.
that he went out
I'm
of his
a
way
fan.
to do this
Yeah,
was
no.
like insane.
Big thanks to Steven, and you'll be seeing the video with him in 2020. You'll be
Yeah,
couple
one of the
videos
first
with
videos we put out. Yeah, other than that, so let's
I
just,
didn't finish my week yet, though.
What are you?
Oh, he's got more to say.
So,
I gotta grab another beer.
Glass Pony and Hilltop was just this past Friday the 13th. It was a super spooky, spectacular,
Oh,
Christmassy show. And did some live painting at that. And Glass Pony, they cover Eminence Front.
Did I realize?
that's my
And,
jam.
and they kick ass at that song.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
my god! And they did this super cool thing. They had it's called like a hat set. So everyone from or whoever they got from the audience would pick a song
Yeah.
out of the hat, and they would play.
Dude, that's
And
cool. No way.
yeah.
Ah,
It was-
that's a
it
cool
was
twist.
cool.
Delayed response.
And
Really
I'm a
soaked
little
in there.
later.
Wait, that's awesome.
that's all right.
That is really cool, though.
That's how I do it,
not
man.
so-
Delays after beers, that's cool. And actually, Glass Pony just came out with their new album November 2nd, and it's a really good album. And the album art is really cool. It's this guy, he does like kind of like landscape, like mini landscapes, and he made it like an I Spy kind of
Wow.
theme. Yeah, and it's got like Glass Pony with like the Scrabble and all like the other little like doodads in it.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's cool.
That's awesome.
That's sweet.
So yeah, they're killing it. Hilltop's killing it. They're coming out with some new material.
Awesome local Albany bands.
Oh yeah.
Go check them out. Go follow. Go like. Just by doing that, goes and supports these bands in a huge way. And you know, as a small band, like the shirt you're wearing, Twiddle,
Yep.
like in 2012, like we were talking earlier, like you know, compared to where they are now,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Pond Fest
all you
and-
need is some little trigger.
Every
and,
little
like
like
a band like
counts,
Hilltop
man,
or,
you know?
or Glass Pony, like I'm excited to go see my first Hilltop show, and I had a conversation. What's the kid with the afro play?
Eris. He plays lead guitar and sings.
I've had an awesome conversation with him, just bonding over fish and like, but with as far
Oh,
as
they're fish geeks.
geeks, yeah. And but just as far as I don't know, Glass Pony, like their album release show, their album, it's self-titled, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it is amazing, and like, there's just a good like all of them like they're fish geeks too, and like they all have their own vibe of what they like to that they bring into like Eddie, the guitarist, lead guitarist, he has a huge metal background, but also is a diehard Fish fan. Not Eddie, Greg Pitts.
Yeah.
But then Eddie's a huge Fish fan. He is an audio tech, and like, so like they have a bunch of different things to bring. Shonda Dewey plays drums, kick-ass drummer, chick drummer, and then you have Jeff Picarzi, who just holds it down and keeps it fun for the crowd. And like, I just really love their like that live show of their album, and
They're fun with everything.
they get a diversity of music. They have potential, and it's not.
And they have a
it's not.
following.
It's like a good. It's like a good like set of music that they could play and not and like feel something in each section or each set. You know.
Yeah.
And over the past year, they've really put a lot of time and effort in making their brand new album.
They played with Formula 5 one night. I remember. I think that was that the last?
That was the last one at the Putnam place.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You were live painting there. That
Yes.
night. Okay. Right. But yeah, that's cool, man. And yeah, for those who are in the upstate New York area or even want to travel to go see great live music, January 18th we have Groove Stick at the Lobby.
At the Dinosaur Barbecue.
At Dinosaur Barbecue with Hilltop, and then Glass Pony with Hilltop when?
I don't think anything in the future.
Oh, that happened already.
But yes, that
Okay,
happened
that
just
happened
last
already.
Friday.
Go listen to him.
But Glass Pony, they're playing a show. I think Guthrie Bell Productions is doing it. It's this Saturday at the Hollow with a couple other bands. I forgot their names, but I believe Glass Pony is gonna headline that.
Very cool.
So if you're not
I need to
doing
go check
anything,
those guys
head on
out.
down to the
Yeah,
Hollow.
yeah, and Hilltop.
Hilltop for sure. And quick shout out to Doug's mom for getting me this super cool shirt. Surprise today.
That's
it's a
rad.
guitar with a moon mirrored and just a I don't know.
It
like
might
a
have
lake.
taken me
I'm
my
gonna
whole
say it's
life
Lake
to
George.
realize that was the
Yeah,
shape
we'll call
of
it
the
Lake
guitar.
George.
Yeah, it's a guitar, and but yeah, shout out to Kathy Steele, who's sleeping
Mama
now.
Dukes.
Enjoy the podcast at work, and but yeah, so Doug, let's get started with some news.
Started with the news. So Xbox announced the Xbox Series X, which is going to be their new gaming system that will be launching next year. I think PlayStation also announced their new one. Are they on 5 now? The
5.
5th? The
Yeah.
5th?
The fifth.
They're the
That's
only
crazy.
video game company that's actually kept it chronological.
I actually appreciate that. I actually appreciate that. It's very easy to keep up with that. You
I'm
know?
still on PS2. Like that's
I just
where
bought
I
an
am. I don't even
Xbox
want
PS1
full-
360
that I play all
like,
the time.
like a week ago.
Dude, we bought an Xbox 360 just so we could play Skate.
Skate 2.
I bought Skate 3. That was the game that I wanted. I bought Skate 3. Is Skate 2 better?
Skate 2 is the
We-
best
Be
one.
real with me.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
better.
yeah,
It's
it's
better.
better.
we
But
talked
Skate
about
3 is a lot of fun, and that one is also backwards compatible on Xbox One X. So I can
Yes.
still play that on my Xbox One, but with
Yeah.
the Xbox 360, you can. That's the only one you can play Skate 2 on.
Yeah.
I personally, I like the map in Skate 2
Way
more.
better. Yeah.
But I feel like play-wise, Skate 3 does kind of work a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like if they kind of like if there's a mesh of those two.
Yeah. But if movies have taught us anything, it's that things don't always get better
Well,
with
see, that's
sequels.
That's
you
the
know?
thing because
Sometimes
Skate
you
2
hit that sweet spot earlier on, you know?
Well, see, Skate 2 was a sequel to Skate 1, which they kind of revamped the whole map and then, like, added a whole bunch of new mechanics to it. So, like, it was, like, way better than Skate 1.
Oh, totally, yeah.
But obviously they couldn't do
I can
that
see in that
again.
realm it makes sense because you're like, okay, like you've like experienced the gameplay long enough that you can make tweaks, and then once you get to like the third, once you're going that far down the rabbit hole, which isn't that far necessarily, but like that's when you kind of start, you know, trying to like come up with ideas, and it's funny because I equate this to bands, where like oftentimes in my experience, bands write their best music early on.
Of course.
You know, like
Alice
you
in
look at
Chains.
Fish with like Junta, or like you look at Twiddle with Natural Evolution of Consciousness.
Aerosmith.
Like Aerosmith, like you look
Who
at Led
wants to listen to
Zeppelin.
Don't Want to Miss a Thing when
Led
you're nesting
Zeppelin's
toys in the
album?
attic? Like,
Is
come
there
on.
any first debut song
Oh.
for any band better
I mean,
than
Zeppelin's
Good
a-
Times, Bad
Zeppelin's a
Times
rare
by
one.
Zeppelin? To come out that strong on
Like,
your first album,
yo.
people probably like, yo,
Fuck out of here.
hold the phone.
Same with like jazz too, like a lot of earlier like Herbie Hancock albums.
Oh, yeah.
Like he kind of aged like a fine wine, and then like, I mean, I'm not saying that anything
And then that
is,
wine
like, not
kinda
my
started to
choice,
spoil.
but well, you know,
just
it's just
kidding.
like, you know, you've kind of heard it before, I guess. But
Yeah.
he came out with a lot of unreleased stuff from back in the day. I mean, I'm a big jazz head, so like,
Dude, the
I definitely love
Miles
Herbie
Davis
Hancock.
quintet with Herbie on keys, and I think there was Al. There was an Al on bass, and Homeboy threw it right down. I don't know what his last name was. I'm sorry, folks. Semantics, but Holy Toledo. Yeah, I was never a big jazz guy until I got into his first quintet, and it just absolutely blew me away.
You ever
Crazy.
listen to Miles Davis's Doo-Bop album? It came out in
haven't.
like early 80s, but it's cool. It kind of like blends hip hop and jazz, and it's just a great album.
Yeah. No, I haven't heard it. We'll listen to it. I'm probably gonna have you like either message it to me or write it down for me later
for sure.
because this thing's not the steel trap it used to be.
Ages with fine wine. You know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but
And related to that, so it's actually, this is perfect. So related to Skate 3, I mean, EA did renew the copyright for
Skate 4, yeah.
So possibly that's coming out. I think that they're either going to come out with another one or they just want to protect it because there have been another creators coming out with new skateboarding games like Session from Creator Studios, which they already have like a beta version out on PC on Steam, which you can go cop right now.
Yeah, if you're a nerd, go on Steam and
it's a lot of fun. But they're supposed to be coming out with the Xbox game preview with it soon. They announced that they were going to be coming out was like in September, then they pushed it back to November, December, and they really fucking Christ. Recently just announced that they are going to be waiting till 2020 to put it out because they want to make sure it's the best version it can be. Yeah. And they're going to continue to update the PC version to kind of make the Xbox version the best that could be before, because they're going to come out with a preview before like the full game comes out. But I definitely think they just want to make sure to get the mechanics.
You don't want to rush art, baby.
You don't.
Yep.
And especially if it's going to be like the next new skateboard game. I think it could be like the Skate 4 that we've all been looking for. So you really want to make sure it's
where is it?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Honestly, where I think Skate 4 is, it's at the other side of the rainbow. In the potluck of gold.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on the remasters there? You ever play any of the remastered
of
games?
What?
Like, there's like Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon.
Okay, remasters in general. I think it's great because you want to know something? Like how we were talking about Sam's brain not aging like fine, or aging like fine wine.
Not aging like wine.
I'm sorry.
I mean, to be fair, it hasn't, but let's pretend it has. Like,
Pretend it has. We'll be nice. I'm just kidding. But yeah, graphics don't. Just like video cameras up until the HD period, right in 2007, 2008, everything was standard definition, 4:3, square, and that's what a PS2 or an Xbox was made for. That amount of pixels. So when you stretch it, it looks like shit. So anytime you would play on a PS3 that's backwards compatible Xbox, like I used to play Halo 2 before they came out with the remaster of that. Like I would play Halo 2 on my Xbox 360 because it's fucking great. But yeah, so it doesn't really it compresses really bad. So for someone who grows up in this era on these new systems that, like, okay, Xbox or PS2, like, Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of the Cortex, fucking, trying to think what else.
Was that the second one?
I think it was, like, the first one on the PS2. It might have been the fourth. And then, also, just like any Tony Hawk games, not really, but Cy Cooper I was really huge into. Cy Cooper was sick. And just any other games.
Did they remaster that one?
Yeah, they remastered 1, 2, and 3. All of them are great.
And they did Ratchet and Clank too.
Ratchet and Clank, pretty much everybody's remastering. Like it was a huge phase, like maybe 2 years ago. But bring that shit back and like let people enjoy it. And but yeah, I'm down for it. I like it.
I'm with
cool.
it.
You ever play Medieval for PS1? They just came out with the remaster and it looks sick.
I always remember that artwork cover, but never play it. Like the skeleton with the
like the games back then, they were just like off the chain. Like Stuart Copeland composed all of the first 3 Spyro the Dragons, and Stuart Copeland from The Police and Oysterhead.
Very interesting.
And I saw them on the bill for a couple things this summer.
Peachy Peach.
And Sweetwater.
Oh, Peach.
Yeah,
dude.
That's quite the lineup.
Yeah.
I had never had an intention of going to Peach, but the second like pretty much every band,
Have you ever been to
every
Peach? Very
band besides
tasteful.
like Fish, that I really would be like enthralled to see is on that lineup.
Yeah.
So looks like I'm gonna be dropping a couple bucks on that.
Have you ever been to Peach?
I have not been to Peach. No.
From what I was told, there's a pretty good deal going on, but I'm gonna pull up that lineup quick, just because of how prolific and diverse Peach Festival is. And to me, Peach Festival is the most consistent lineup in sense of value. It is insane. And but yeah, Oysterhead is headlining that. They're opening their first 2 shows in, I think it's February in Broomfield, Colorado.
Yep,
My
correct.
buddy Jake got tickets, and
Those had was sold out quick.
Sold out quick. He got him in the lottery.
Oh,
and,
wow.
He has floors. So it's like, holy
Hell yeah.
shit.
Lucky
That's
dog.
gonna be something.
But yeah, I'm just gonna go over the Peach lineup quick. Let's see here. Like I said, it's fucking sick. I mean, every band off this you've either seen at some venue or, I mean, there's not a bad option here.
They meet every tier too.
They
you
do
know?
every single tier. So let's get here. So first, Oysterhead super headlining it. The String Cheese Incident. Joe Russo's Almost Dead with O'Teal on bass, which is sick.
that'll be
And
cool.
I just want to give a shout out to Rob Schmidt for covering "Home for the Holidays," which was a celebration of the life of Jerry Garcia, and it was Tom Hamilton, one of the Truck's sons. Who else? O'Teal Burbridge. You have I think it was Melvin Seals, one of the singers from Melvin Seals, and I forgot who else. But thank you, Rob. And that content's gonna be out tomorrow. He took a lot of sick photos.
Hey, Rob, you're the man.
Rob
Rob give you a
Schmidt's
shout
a
out. Like,
fucking
you're the
man.
man. You're out
Honestly,
all the places.
Honestly, quick cheers to Rob Schmidt.
Cheers.
Rob Smith.
I've actually been
Cheers.
seeing his name pop up on the Mirth Instagram quite a bit. The kid's putting in work, and the pictures are
dude.
phenomenal. So,
He's saying-
so I
he's
don't
like-
know you, Rob, but cheers.
He's got to be like what, in his 40s.
I don't know if I've met him.
You've met him.
Have
He was
I
at
met him?
80K Fest.
Oh, I'm sorry,
That's a
we're not.
wash.
He was at our 10, he was in our 10 at Disc Jam.
Oh yeah.
Beard. Where's like the towel?
Yeah,
like,
Oh, a beard towel. Yeah, that could be anybody at Disc Jam.
Do remember you, Rob Smith. Very sorry about the mix-up. Love your photos. You're the man.
So to continue it, String Cheese Incident. I said that Revolution, Humphreys McGee, which something I thought that was really cool was when I was in Charleston for the shows, Ryan Stasek, the bassist, was like sitting next to like Jake and I the whole time, like in the
That's
food
it.
court. And the cool thing was, there was a fucking Chick-fil-A in the food court at Charleston Coliseum.
Oh,
Have you ever
man.
been to Chick-fil-A?
I have.
You ever had the Chick-fil-A sauce?
No, I think I only had like their chicken sandwich with the pickles on it or something.
That's exactly what you want to get. But Chick-fil-A is God's gift, and
It's God's gift. He goes.
Where was
Yeah.
that? I'm sorry. Was that's North Carolina?
South
Or
Carolina.
South Carolina. That's actually where I was at a Chick-fil-A. Was South Carolina.
Perfect. And yeah, and they close on Sundays because they're like a Christian organization behind the scenes, and we were like thinking like, oh man, how awesome would it be if Chick-fil-A was open on Sunday, only in this food court. And it was close.
and they
But yeah, but yeah, Stasek was sitting next to him with his family. His side act, Doom Flamingo, which kicks
Yep.
ass. You were at this jam.
I was
Did
there.
you make it for that set?
I was, I'm
was
not
Saturday
built
night.
for music festivals, so I actually only made it through 2 nights. I was supposed to be there all weekend.
4
But I'm more
days
of a
is
show
rough.
guy. I start losing my steam, and I have a tendency to go a little too hard in the paint early on, and I don't sleep well in inclement situations like a tent, especially when I'm going to bed around 5 a.m. and the sun comes out like an hour later, and I'm sweating to the high heavens, and I
It can
wake
be
up
rough.
in a puddle of my own filth. And yeah, so I made it through the
my
first.
goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty dark stuff. Sam.
Graphic.
To anybody, some of my friends that I ghosted an Irish goodbye, I apologize, but I knew you were gonna try and get me to stay, and I gotta go, hunker down.
Get
for a
some
little
sleep.
bit.
Yeah. So let's
But I
continue.
missed Saturday was the day I was most excited. I think they played maybe Saturday.
Saturday night after Lotus with
Lotus
Barber.
with Barber, yeah. And
Yeah.
Papadosio played that
Papadosio,
night.
yeah. Yeah, but to continue it, Mo. Come on. Pigeons playing ping pong. Fucking love those guys. O'Teal and friends Twiddle, Turquoise, with Jerry Harrison and Adrian Blue of the Talking Heads.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah, they're playing.
No,
they're playing
wow.
an anniversary of one of their albums.
Oh, that's gonna be incredible.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Does
going to
it say it
going
there?
on. They're actually going to be going on tour. I forgot the name of the album. I'll look it up. But they're going to be going on tour for
It's
a
the
short
one
stint
from
too.
Once in a Lifetime, I think, is
Is
on
it?
that album. Yeah, yeah.
I have no
So
idea.
you saw that Talking Heads recently came forth with an official Instagram page,
yeah,
right?
and David Byrne
Really?
denied it.
He did.
He denied it. Yeah, he denied it.
Well,
It was
he's a
kinda
wacky
like, oh,
dude.
shit,
He
we
likes to
haven't
play things
capitalized
close to
on
the
this yet?
vest, you know. So
Yeah, I know someone who met David Byrne. Actually, they played the Memorial Hall in Plattsburgh at
No
SUNY
way.
Plattsburgh. Yeah, and one of my friends, he's got to be in his 50s, but actually hung out with him for the night, and he said, "Yes, David Byrne is a very strange man."
Yeah.
To quote him,
All you have to do is watch,
in the best way possible.
You see him come out with those shoulder pads for what
the
down
suit.
for the river. What was it, like? Take me to the river. He
Yeah.
comes out with big old shoulder pads. He's he's a wacky dude. You can tell he's a wacky dude.
Definitely.
Totally.
Love to hang
To
out
continue
with him.
this, Tower of Power, Billy Strings. God damn, that guy has made some fucking
Oh, I'd
progress.
love to see him.
Steel Pulse. He played in Albany. Opened up for Green Sky Bluegrass in 2017 at the Egg.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude, that was the only time I've seen him. It was sick.
The Egg doesn't advertise as much as I wish they would.
No, but you know what? It's a great venue. It's cool setting to
I just
see.
have to
like,
study it up, I guess. To
Although
find
they
out
do
what
have Green Skies coming back in
Yes,
February
Green
with
Sky-
Ghostlight.
With Ghostlight,
which is
okay,
gonna be
this is
a
something I
pimpin'
want to
show.
say. Ghostlight kicks fucking ass.
Yes, they
Every
do.
fucking member of Ghostlight, Tom Hamilton, anything that got fucking touches,
Mm-hmm.
like of course J-Rad's sick, but Ghostlight, dude, it just
the
like
truth,
you
man.
get to see,
Yeah.
and like their songwriting's good. It reminds me of like a heavy ass Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Fucking power.
Well, Raina
fucking-
Mullen, who
You've
is the
seen them
lead singer.
at this jam.
Raina
Yeah,
Mullen,
Raina.
she's the other guitarist. She writes some incredible music, and like Fleetwood Mac is a great comparison. And it's funny because at first, Keys, what's her name? It's escaping me right now.
Oh, Holly Bowling.
Holly Bowling. I was like, do I really am I gonna be stimulated by watching somebody play solo piano for an hour? I'm cynical, and I'm hard to please. And then I saw her at Tumbledown,
No.
Twiddle's event in Burlington.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
mesmerized. I was like, all right, touche, Holly, you dog. And then I saw her also at Magna Ball. She played a little like late night a set at
that's
my
cool.
friends. At my friends, they brought in like a full grand piano. My friend Mary, she's worked with Fish for a number of years, and she had her at her campsite, and that blew me away too. I was in a wheelchair actually. At that point.
Wait,
I got hit by a car.
Okay, thank you for the
Yep.
story.
Now, Holly Bowling's awesome, and like also cool thing about Holly Bowling is, if you haven't seen the new Trey Anastasio documentary Between Me and My Mind, go fucking.
Which I
check it out.
haven't.
It's
Which is
think it's on
crazy
Amazon.
as like a
It's
diehard Fish fan. Yeah.
It's like from a filmmaker's perspective, it is a fucking really good put together documentary. It's not like your standard thing. It is. Man, it made you feel something. Like,
did. It
and
made you
if
feel a
didn't
lot of
even like
emotions,
Fish,
but it was
like
good
it was
emotions.
really good. And like, but Holly Bowling, her song was she did an interpretation of some song that Fish does, and they played it in the credits,
Sweet.
which is cool.
Nice.
So they picked her up for that.
Awesome.
But to continue to this awesome lineup of Peach Fest, once again, Almond Betts Band, Jamo and Friends, The Slip, Annual Peach Guitar Pull, Spafford, Dopapod, who just played a 2-night run fucking Boston. You got Keller, you got Goose. Goose is like, I mean,
They're getting
dude,
higher up on that bill every
the
year,
fact
man.
that Goose is fucking playing in the sand, the Dead and Company
Insane.
Festival.
Yeah.
Insane. It's like
Good
Dead
for
and Co.
them.
Lettuce and that.
No one else
a
on this
couple other
fucking
people.
lineup is playing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
they're-
a
they're
huge coup for
killing it.
them, man. Yeah,
That's fucking awesome.
that doesn't happen by accident.
And they sold
Yeah.
out the Parish pub. Like, that never happens.
No, it never happens. But like, to be fair, that place is small, and like,
Is this Parish Public House?
and like the Parish
Yeah,
Public House.
formerly known as Red Square. Is that
It
what
was
it's
Red
Red
Square,
Square?
Yeah.
It's Red Square in my day.
Andy Frasco in the UN, to me, one of the greatest acts of all time. Aqueous, Ghostlight, The Green, Nicole Aikens, Nth Power, featuring Jen Hartswick of Trey Anastasio Band.
Daddy like.
If you want to find out cool facts about Jen Hartswick, please listen to the Andy Frasco World Saving podcast on iTunes and Spotify. And her podcast featuring her is just really good. Really great.
She can wail
Not good,
like a
great.
dog. Her Clint Eastwood,
She's so
the
good.
Gorillaz cover
Oh,
they do
yeah.
where she spits the verses. It's so sick.
So sick.
yeah.
Brendan Taz, Niederauer, The Future.
I just
Bishop
saw
Gunn.
him on like an HBO special, or it's like a Netflix. It's called She's Gotta Have It. It's a Spike Lee remake of.
Really?
Yeah, Spike
No
Lee
way.
made a movie that was black and white back in the day called She's Gotta Have It, and it's about an artist in Brooklyn and her story. And he was in that playing guitar.
Well,
you
you
know
know
he
watch this movie.
Taz.
No
You know
way.
he was
Yes.
on Broadway too, right?
Yeah,
he was
for
in
School
School
of
of
Rock.
Rock on Broadway, which is, I mean, I'm a
Badass.
diehard Jack Black fan. Love that movie. Wish I saw it on Broadway, especially with Taz. But yeah, Yeah, kids, no joke.
No joke whatsoever. Bishop Gunn, Michaela Davis, Thumpasaurus, Magic Beans.
Yeah,
Love those
yeah.
guys. Kitchen Dwellers, another one. They just put out another album, something.
don't know.
But the album cover's sick, and like those guys rip. They were also at Tumbledown that glorious weekend. Karina Reichman, fucking A. What a great bassist.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep.
CBDB, featuring the members of, based off of some of the members from Backup Plan, which was one of the most kick-ass bands ever. Neil Francis, Yak Attack, Funk You, Kesmendi, The Fritz, Eggy, fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, they played, it was like Fish 2016. They played at Lee's every night and before Fish. Do you remember that?
I remember it because my band, Sandwich, at the time, I had a band called Sandwich.
Of course you did.
Yes. Well, the other guy in the band was named Mitch. I'm named Sam. Yeah. So it was really fun at the end of the shows getting to say, I'm Sam, this is Mitch, we're Sandwich. But so we were supposed to play that night at Lee's with them. We were terrible. We were like, I don't even know what tier we would have fallen under. Like, like whatever. I remember like asking one friend of
all
mine.
about
I was
fun,
like,
man.
oh, we had a great time. You know what I mean? We had a real grassroots following, being like my 15 friends that came to everything. But yeah, we played with Eggy. Actually, it's funny because Eggy opened for us, and so did Lord Electro.
Oh, nice.
And the other brothers. And I remember being like, I don't want to play after any of these bands.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's a
playing
heavy
after
lineup.
Eggy was really quite intimidating. But thank you so much to those boys for,
Yeah,
for joining us. And
they've done a lot
God,
of growing.
they're killing it.
A lot
and
of
they're gonna
growing.
keep on.
Seriously,
killing it, man.
one of our new additions to the team. Welcome to the team, Jamie of Ascent Photography. She just covered a show at Orlando's Ryan Dempsey's bar in Burlington, Vermont, and Norb and Gub did like they're a derivative of some side project, and they both sat in with Eggy, which I thought was
Yep.
super cool.
And
they
Haley
pay
Jane
a lot.
also sat in with Eggy.
Twiddle
That's
pays a lot of
right.
homage to those guys, and like at Friendsgiving, Eggy played an opening set for one at Garcia's, which is right attached to the Cap. If you've never been to the Cap, it's one of the best venues. Honestly, it's like a Palace Theater with no seats.
You ever
And the-
check out the wallpaper in there? It's got like
Oh, it's
Janis
beautiful.
Joplin and all like the crazy
okay.
legends
Fucking
on
beautiful.
there,
Where's
like
this?
in the wallpaper.
The Capitol Theater.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But to finish this lineup, Gabriel Kelly, Serene Green, Yam Yam, Bobby Lee Rogers, and Colebrook Road. This is July 2nd through 5th, 4th of July weekend. Well, no better way to
boy.
spend it than at Montage Mountain in Scranton, Pennsylvania. They're going to have fireworks, Peach Music Festival 2020. Go check that out. It's going to be fucking tight. Continuing with this, Green Day played a surprise bar show, which I thought was pretty cool in Costa Mesa, California. And it's just cool that like bands do that and shit and get to have fun. I was like watching this video. Usually I don't read the comments on YouTube, but like I got into it a little bit, and like like I guess like people were ripping on them because Billy Joe Armstrong and like it was Trey Cool's birthday. Not Trey Cool, whoever the bassist is, super cool guy. But they're all getting hammered and playing on this small stage to like 50 to 100 people.
So cool.
Dude, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
that's awesome.
And like people are like, oh, they sound like trash. The mics are like toy
Yeah, well,
mics.
they're
yada,
a
yada.
huge production that's used to playing.
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
On like $1 million
they play
sound
fucking
system.
world. They
like
play
that.
fucking world tours. They fucking kick ass. They've made so many great albums. No matter if you like them or not, they're commercially successful. And give them a fucking break. Like
Yeah.
Everyone's a
play.
critic.
They play a world tour. Like I said, world tour, playing to fucking thousands.
If you
of
see a
people.
50 to
So when you're
100 person
stripped down-
Green Day show,
I would wanna
and
see
are
a-
bitching about the sound, then you got to reevaluate, like
Yourself,
what's going.
yeah.
Like, you should just feel honored and really excited to get to be in that room. That's like a
The
piece
fact
of
that
history.
that's happening, and like, so
Yeah.
what if they're getting drunk? Because you want to know something? They're having fun.
Yeah.
You're seeing the side of Green Day that you saw.
That's
in
like-
that
that's
would
like a
be seen in
blast to the
90s.
past.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like fucking embrace it.
And the
Like,
It's funny because I've
bassist is-
wanted. Yeah, will you go ahead,
Mike Dirt.
Mike Dirt?
Dirt. Is it Dirt?
which one is him?
Like the bassist, right?
Mike Dirt, maybe. He has like
Mike
spiky
Dirt?
hair.
Yeah.
That's it. Definitely then.
Yeah, Mike Dirt.
He's a cool
I think.
bassist, and
Is it
I want to
Dirt?
say I want to give a shout out to Green Day for a rock star moment at the iHeart Music Festival in Las Vegas. They host it at the MGM Grand. They like have it's like a whole production, like the way they do the show, and like so like you have a certain amount of time to play your song because they have like a shit ton of artists throughout the whole thing. It's like this like, you know, big commercial marketing thing that they do to get like a lot of artists play and like probably make their name iHeartRadio, and fucking they're on a time and like Green Day's playing through a song and then like they're counting down the there's like a clock that says like the amount of time they have to play and like there's like down to like a minute and 30 seconds and then like Billy Joe Armstrong stops the show and he's like, all right, hold on. I got a fucking minute and 30 seconds to finish this. What am I not good enough for fucking Justin Bieber? What the fuck? And like, whatever. Some ridiculous thing. He was pissed. He's like, oh no, I got a minute, Jesus, or something. And then like then he's like, you know what? Then he just like it just like eats him away. And like it was like a bad moment for him, but like he ends up smashing his guitar on stage. And then like as a band, like you gotta support your dude.
Yeah.
Mike Dirt, just he sees him doing it, he's like, all right, I'm gonna smash my bass. Fuck yeah, dude.
Boy.
That's brotherhood. That's brotherhood right there.
Brotherhood. Yeah.
Can't beat 'em, join 'em.
Don't
But
give him a time limit.
continue the news. Star Wars Episode 9.
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker comes out Friday. We've been geeking out on Star Wars, and we're gonna be talking about some Star Wars soon.
Later on.
And just before we talk about two other things, I do want to, just because the chat's busy right now, I do want to get to it. Doug, do you want to take a look at the chat?
Let's take a look at this chat. So we figured out the echo problem. Shout out to Dylan McKenzie and Deanna for pointing that out to us and letting us know when it was all better. So thank you.
And Dylan, just so you know, for your background, it was we had two audio tracks open for the same mic. That was causing it.
Yep. Yeah. Mishaps.
Mishaps.
You might see we don't have the soundboard today. We decided to take on the challenge of 4 dudes and 1 mic tonight. So hopefully we're coming through loud and clear for you guys. Dylan McKenzie, 14-second latency. So it sounds like we're coming in pretty good, better than we had the past couple of weeks. Awesome. Shout out to Spectrum for the Wi-Fi.
Fuck Spectrum. Sorry. I'm sorry.
It has been shot all day, so I'm happy it's working today. Dylan McKenzie sleeping in early tonight so we can shovel early tomorrow, which I think is a pretty good move. You know, I don't know about you guys. You can order these like windshield and back windshield covers for your car. So like during like snow, like you put it on the night before. So then like in the morning you just take that thing.
I just throw a tarp down and throw a couple.
It still gets ice
rocks
on it though.
A little bit,
you know.
Yeah.
So you're still.
No, actually, it's funny because
it ain't like the commercial where they like perfectly rip it off. And
Nothing's
it's
like the commercial.
I know,
It's
right?
like so graceful. Like no, like you're like.
I recently got a free week of meals from HelloFresh, and let me tell you, the pictures, the very illustrious, gorgeous pictures that they took on the thing, did not look like the meal that I made.
It was an Instagram. They
Now, mind you, my plating leaves much to be desired, and my cooking leaves, pretty good amount to be desired as well. But yeah, not everything is as it's branded. I think we've learned that at this point. So,
most definitely.
Yeah.
I still don't trust Flex Seal. Like, you
God, no.
remember that one? Like, they, like, cut out a hole in the bone and then put a screen door and then, like, covered it in Flex Seal and then, like, went out on the leg.
Oh, yeah.
Like, how long were you out there for, bro? Were you out there for, like, 2 minutes? Get the shot. Like, all right, let's get back on land.
How many cans did they use?
Dude,
for
like,
it?
yo, like, that's not, like, come on now.
You know what that's called? It's called puffery. It's
Puffery.
actually a term for that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sly dogs there.
A lot.
So we'll keep on going. Mallory Caron gave us a little wave. Mallory Karen, my bad. Give us a little wave. What's going on, Mallory?
What's going on, Mallory?
Hi, Mal.
Dylan McKenzie Charleston is on my cities to visit list. Which
Go visit it. A lot of cool photos you're gonna get done.
heard it from the man himself. Have you guys been there?
What
Charleston,
city is
South
this?
Carolina.
I have
Charleston?
not.
No,
Nope.
I've been to
Go check
Columbia,
it.
South
If
Carolina.
you feel like going for a 19-hour drive,
What was it?
19
15 hours?
hours.
15.
Get
No,
out.
15.
You make that
it's like okay, fine.
15. I'll give you that.
It's like 12 and a half on Google Maps, and then once you like go through DC, you're like,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
But the speed limit's 75 down there. So
But I
that's
will
gonna
say, I
kinda
didn't
make
talk
up
about
for it.
this.
That is
Um,
nice.
I will say, fucking Waffle House. Such a great place to go
Oh
for breakfast.
God,
What
really?
do you mean, oh God? Don't give me
Is
that.
that place really appealing? Like every time like I saw a
Cheers
Waffle
to
House in the
Waffle
South,
House.
I'm like,
Jeez. I went to a
give you
Waffle
cheers.
House. I don't know, is
if
that
I
like
can
a
do this.
chain?
All right.
Yeah, it's a game. We went to Waffle House like 4 times.
I went to one in
like
Myrtle
3
Beach,
days.
and it was pretty chill. Now, mind you, I had the palate of like a 9-year-old at the point that I went to that Waffle House, but it was sick. Very
Did you get
good.
the chicken and waffles?
Absolutely not.
I don't do the chicken.
The only time I get
like
chicken
my
waffles is
with
at
syrup.
Funkin' Waffle in Syracuse, New York.
Did they have grits there? That's like a major
You could get
thing.
grits, you could get
Yeah.
biscuits.
I like
Well,
the
I got
grits.
the waffles. Or you know what? You know, with being on tour, you got a budget. You know, like so I had a lot of. I had just like the regular American breakfast. No meat because that adds an extra $1 or $2. So for $4, I would get 2 eggs, some hash browns, which their hash browns are really good. What?
Eggs are kind of meat.
Eggs are whatever.
Protein.
not bacon.
They're somewhere
I mean,
in the middle ground.
It's not
I mean,
bacon.
If on technicalities,
We're gonna look
I could
that
throw
up
one in
later,
there,
you know, yeah.
And then I had a
but-
couple pieces of toast. You know.
yeah.
That sounds like a
Yeah, it's a
good
well-balanced
nutritious
meal.
You
breakfast.
need
Yeah.
those carbs, baby.
So and then like
Sure
towards the
do.
end, I was like, wow. I was like looking at Jake's waffles. I was like, I want that fucker.
Yeah.
So I got on my way back when we stopped in North Carolina. The most southern. It was like southern thickness and like the people's like
Oh
the way
yeah.
they talked and like it wasn't like South Carolina. It was a different. You could hear a different like different accent a little bit and like
A little twang.
a little more twang and like, but it was good. It was man, the waffle. I wish I had it right now.
You ever have the barbecue down there?
Oh, we went. We
It's
stopped
like
at this place called
vinegar-based.
Lewis. It is all vinegar based.
Yeah.
And Jake, he actually owns his parents own the Barn Cider here in Lake George, and it is not vinegar based. It's something else.
Worcester.
Tomato based.
No, it's Worcester based.
Well,
I don't
they
know.
definitely have Worcester. In
I don't
there.
know.
I
We'll
thought it
we'll
was
have to
not
ask
gonna-
Jake.
I thought it was only vinegar or tomato based.
I don't know what any of you were talking about.
We're
just-
talking about like the type of barbecue.
Okay.
the type of
vinegar,
barbecue
but yeah,
sauce.
see, this is
So,
this
but
is
you
all
can taste the
details
difference
that I'm
in
not
the bar. You
familiar
can
with.
taste the difference in like the pulled pork or the brisket, and but all of it was really good. And we stopped at this like local place. The mac and cheese was like, man, I could only eat that and be okay with my life. You know?
How was it compared to the crack?
Way better.
Really?
Jake would probably tell you the same.
Oh man, I
Yep.
need some of this mac and cheese.
Well, hey, fish, you know, another 3 right now, would be sick.
Charleston.
But yeah, other than that, we got some other comments from
Yes,
Mr.
we
Shassy
do.
Shassy.
What's cracking, homies? Ask him about the fan feedback he got from his Tumble Down article. Did you notice any
What
feedback?
the fuck was that? I thought it was a great
Who asked
article.
that? Tom Schassler?
Tom.
He's just
Hey,
trying
boy.
to instigate some
You
shit.
trying to like okay?
That's
Here's
Tom.
what happened: is basically somebody thought that I didn't get into the weeds enough and I didn't get granular enough. And you know what? Honestly, like as somebody, you know, once you're putting your voice out there or you're putting your art out there, or whatever, I think you need to be totally open to criticism.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And while I hate the person who made the comments, and I'll always hate them, I'm just fucking around. I don't hate you. If you're watching, I don't hate you. No, I actually like I messaged him after the fact and was like, dude, I appreciate it. Like, you know, like I'm the first person that will criticize. So if I can't handle criticism, like there's a problem going on there. So
Yeah.
so he thought that there were some things that were really important to the festival, some moments, so there was lyric changes, like they had added some lyrics to some of the new songs that I didn't highlight. A couple things Frankie edited out. So
sorry.
a couple things were I'm just kidding. But you know
I'm
what?
sorry.
That's okay. You know, it just makes you a better writer and it just things to pay attention to next time. And he was right. And part of that, honestly, I think the first night I had a couple too many cold snacks. And
I bought you a beer.
That probably contributed.
you a beer
Yeah,
at
That could mean like multiple
This
things.
guy's fault.
so I actually had my wrist. I got X'd and had my drinking wristband taken
did
from me
get X'd.
Oh my
before
God.
Twiddle started.
Oh
the
my
first
night
night.
one. Which
So-
night won the sets? Fucking amazing.
So I couldn't get as granular as into the weeds as I would have liked on that first night because. You know, I was a little too loaded. That was just the
Happens to
bottom
the
line.
best of us.
So I do appreciate the feedback. I hate you, but I appreciate the feedback. Tom, You dink.
It's all good. And you know
That's
what?
funny.
But I gotta say, like the article, like stat wise on the website did great. And just to break it up.
Got a few more chats if you
Okay.
wanna finish these off real quick. Dylan McKenzie, this podcast needs a star wipe, and I feel like that's a transition, which I would totally be down for. Dylan McKenzie, we gotta talk. Talking Heads played Monopole too. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. That's probably
I
back in
don't.
the day
Oh,
before our time.
Yeah, I have heard of
Yeah.
that. Disco Biscuits played the Monopole,
No
and I think
Frampton played.
Frampton played the Memorial Hall.
Same with the Beatles.
Or no, it was at the Field House.
No, it was the
Memorial
original
Hall.
building. Yeah,
Memorial. Yeah.
And the Beatles played.
Wow.
At one-
Outta
or
here.
maybe it was Paul McCartney
you
and
know,
Wings.
if we had like some like social organizers like they did back in the day when we were going to Plattsburgh, man.
Yeah, no, exactly. And would you
Like-
agree with me? The overall, like, other than the Monopole, overall, like, feeling around it, it's like everybody from SUNY Plattsburgh attracts to 518 or Green Room. And it's like, dude, I don't
Oh,
want to
well.
go, like, blast my fucking ear. I
Well,
don't know.
you got a lot of city people up there, and that's that's what they like. They like the club and stuff. So.
City
That's
slickers.
horrible. I'm just saying, like, give it a little more
Us-
variety.
as-
You go to another college and there's, like, diversity in things.
UVM, they have Fall Fest, Spring Fest. I saw a crazy. It was Charlie Tuna, it was
No way.
Grizz.
Charlie Tootin, today's a day. He's in
Today's
Jurassic
the
5.
day.
Yeah.
Today's a day, man.
Oh.
Or like the
Oh.
music, pop, power.
Yeah.
Did he play that?
He played "Coming Through," where it's like "Coming Through Today."
I don't think I know that one.
passing by." Well, I
Yeah,
don't know.
UVM does it right.
Yeah, they
Come
do
on,
those.
City Class.
Yeah. Well,
Cut your
I mean,
shit out,
it
man.
goes up in that.
I'm
neck of
sorry.
the
I'm
woods.
just saying.
Well,
it's whack.
Burlington's
Going-
also
the
a very
best
musically
experience.
oriented town.
Totally, and
Well,
like the
and
best.
Pond Fest was there. Pond Fest
Missed
was
that
up there.
though. I just want to say what really helped me, kind of break out of my shell and going away to school. My buddy Josh went up there to Clinton, and that was nice having somebody I knew there. But like as far as getting to get to know more people, 88 Broad Street, Soul Junction, but mainly you guys. I never was a fan of the song Bertha before I heard it from you and Corey, and
Get
like.
out.
I'm serious. I was like, I never was. And like, then I like went out of my way to like learn that on my guitar, and I was like, and like the fact that it was a kegger is like exactly what I wanted to be around. Cause like other than that, I would be sitting in my fucking dorm, listening to
Right.
fucking whatever,
And we-
fucking
you know,
set
we
list
were
or
one
whatever
of those-
show I went to. you know?
Metallica.
And like Metallica, Twiddle at the time, like
Yeah.
huge, like we were talking about, like seeing Twiddle in like 2011, 2012, 2013. Got to see some awesome
Right,
first
you-
420 show.
Higher
Total I ever
Ground.
saw it was Higher Ground. In 2014 when they opened up with an acoustic set with
Yep.
with Bob Marley. With the Johnny Cash.
They did like I don't know, Mama, that's all right with you. And they also did Folsom Prison Blues.
Folsom
was
Prison
part
Blues,
of that.
yeah.
Such a good show.
Such a good show. And like, yeah, I don't want. I was about to say some stuff, but I can't talk about it around here. But it was a good time on Waterfront Park that day, and yeah, thank you, man. That really was fucking like. I don't feel alone now. Like there's
Yeah,
people like
no,
same
no,
shit I
yeah,
do.
yeah,
I wasn't 21 yet to go get stoner wings. I had to go to house parties.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was. I will give Plattsburgh a hat, like tip from the hat. I had a great experience in college.
Yeah, I
Plattsburgh
think
was
we had a
magical.
good
Magical,
era.
man.
Everybody I
up there.
know that went there had a pretty damn good
Yeah,
time.
and we had a DJ upstairs in my one buddy's apartment,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
downstairs
yeah. It
in
was
my
like-
other buddy's apartment it was our band, and then whoever was we were opening up for would play
What was the
after
name of
us.
the band?
Our band was washed up, and we were pretty washed up. But
okay.
we're definitely washed up now. But
I've always wanted to start a band called The Boys because everybody refers to the band that they love going to see as
The
The
Boys.
Boys. Oh, the boys are playing here. The boys are playing the Monopole tonight.
we
Like,
were
oh, you
the
going to see The
Boys.
Boys this weekend?
Yeah,
So I
know,
want to
dude.
start a band called The Boys.
That's
So then
fun,
that's
man.
like totally washed out. You know what I mean? You can't call them the boys, like the dudes, the homies, like whatever. Because The Boys is my band.
The Boys.
Like I want that to be me and my thing. My
Dude, the boys are back in town.
Yeah, exactly. That would be our biggest cover, probably.
Of course, commercial success. Yeah, just break it up. just so all of you guys know, head to Mirth-Films for all of the live music coverage, alternative news, all of our podcasts, original video content, and our merch page, which Christmas is right around the corner. If you order in the next couple days, you will be able to get our clothing sent right to you. Doug's got the Courtney Gutenberg made
freaking
No
nice.
Void. No, he's not pushing Mongo. He's just doing a no comply. And all of our other merch that you can get is now available today. Head to our merch page.
Yeah,
and
give it a look.
You know, for also give us a like, follow us on Instagram just to stay up to just to see what some of our awesome photographers are taking photos of.
If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, or Spotify, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Maybe get notifications where you can view this live and chat with us in real time.
Exactly.
And also, here's one thing I like to point out. Anything you'd like for us to talk about in the podcast, be sure to send an email to Mirth is
King 518.
mirthisking518@gmail.com, and we will get to it in a future podcast. Bada bada bang.
Bing.
Pow.
Chandler Bing.
Bing.
So just the last two news.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Chandler
my
Bang.
God.
What was that woman's name? Terrible impression, but what was her name?
Janice.
Janice. Oh my goodness.
Janice.
Can I also, and this is a thing for me right now, and I'm gonna call it out, and I might end up, even committing a no-no, but this literally has to be at the very least brought to attention. I've got a bladder the size of a thimble.
I gotta be honest with you, man.
Size of a
or it might even be
thimble.
the size of like my pinky nail, which is about the size
I think
of
we're all
a
due
thimble.
for some bathroom breaks.
So
I'm good. I can hold out another like 10 minutes.
Daddy's gotta take a squirt.
Okay,
and
Daddy
I hope
Luke.
you guys will allow me to do that. I'm really sorry,
That's
boys.
okay.
Okay, but if
We
I
don't
want to
need no
maintain
bladder
my
explosion.
gusto, and I know you guys expect a lot from me, because I've been on here so many
You gotta
times.
take a shot there, man.
Yeah, so we're gonna be back in just a minute. It's gonna be small. It's gonna be quick.
Bit of an uphill gardener.
Yeah, by Mil Martinez, Skater of the Year. Thrasher Skater of the Year, the most coveted award in skateboarding. Dude, go check out his part.
If you haven't seen it yet.
Milton Martinez. He's fucking insane. They have one of the most...
That sounds familiar, actually.
just go
Who
check
does he
him
ride
out.
for? Do you know?
He rides for Creature.
Creature?
Yeah.
So one thing I'd like to say about this part is compared to like other Skater of the Year parts, because a lot of people have been dropping a lot of videos because it's been the end of the year. Everyone's trying to get on Skater of the Year.
Everybody.
Like, Baker 4 just got released. Mark Susio came out. He had like a 10-minute part like a month ago, and he's been coming out with like more footage.
Yeah.
Like since. But like the one thing with Mel Martinez is like his part was just it was like 5-10 minutes long, right?
Yeah.
And like
Wow, that's a big part.
like
Everything was...
after like
huge size.
I would like so the first 3 minutes was obviously really great, but like after that it was just like god damn, oh my god, oh
Like,
whoa,
Bigger than
whoa.
Andrew Reynolds and Stay
Way
Gold.
bigger.
What?
So his final
Way
trick,
bigger.
sorry to spoil it, but is this one he's coming off this like car wash
Alright.
roof garage, well like this car wash place, and it's going into like a at least a 45-degree angle bank, probably like steeper than that. And straight up, like the only person who's ever done it before, their name is slipping my mind, but this gap has only been done once before. So he straight up, and just an ollie,
The Cumberland Gap?
Nah.
No,
I know
I came
it-
into the middle of the story.
So Mel Martinez, he won Skater of the Year, and he released
This
a
year?
part. Yes,
Right
he
on.
released a part called Demolition. I want to say it's on Thrasher, on Thrasher YouTube page. And so his final trick was off this car wash roof into this like super steep bank. I would say at least 45 degrees, probably more of like 55, 60 degrees, like straight up gnarly, and then like it goes down sidewalk road, like just shoots you out. So the only person that's ever done this before, name escaping me, but they only did an ollie off it. So this guy did a kickflip, caught it into the bank. And I'm pretty sure, I wish Frankie was here. He's kind of in the bathroom. I want to say he like got injured, possibly like broke something, like attempting it like one of his first times.
And then kept going.
Like I don't know if he kept going or like healed, came back, and then got that.
To get hurt and then be willing to do the gap again
It's
shows the
something.
commitment that
It's
that kind of skater has.
like,
It's nuts.
Most definitely, like there's definitely been some tricks that have like thrown me for a loop. Like when I first moved back here from Vegas in 2017, me and Frankie filmed like a part together called we just called it Homecoming. And my last trick was at the skate park. It was a fakie big flip off.
I
this
watched
one
that
drop.
video, by the way.
Thank you. But like that was like literally like a 3-day process. So it's like I like thought of it like a week after I came back. Like, oh, I'm pretty good at fakie big flips. I can probably do that off something. Never had before, but why not? Can't be that hard. No, I wrecked myself for like over an hour just trying this. It's like a 2.5 foot drop just to straight concrete. If you don't land, you're hitting concrete.
Yeah.
There's no cushion. So it's like my first day of work at Prey Shopper, I could barely move.
Which is just what you want. I worked at
was a
Price
stock
Chopper too.
boy.
Were you a stalker?
Stock
I
boy, it
worked
was
in the dairy section. I was the yogurt boy, and
Oh
they
my-
called me the Dairy King. And it was pretty freaking chill, dude. It was really
Yes.
chill. No, well, I called myself the Dairy King. Honestly, nobody else called me that. But I loved standing in the milk cooler and just staring through the milk to people that were getting milk.
No.
And then they would see me and get so creeped out. And I thought it was hilarious at the time that. So from now on, when you're shopping at Price Chopper, if they're wearing a white shirt, that means they're underage. And I thought it was really funny at the time that they color coded their
Didn't you
employees
say
by
red or
age.
something?
Yeah.
Like, no, it's all red.
Now it's gotta look
But if you're
innocent.
wearing a white shirt, that means you're underage. And I was like, why?
Don't buy this kid
Like,
alcohol.
why? Like, yeah.
No, Price Shopper's a weird spot, but not gonna keep going on that. But I forgot.
The
what
last thing, let me really
We were
quickly.
talking about Skater of the Year.
You were talking about Skater of the Year, the
Shit.
gap of the year. So the biggest thing that's always scared me about a gap like this. So I've got some buddies that are big skateboarders out in LA, and they've got a
Yeah.
page Warble. So check that out on
Warble.
Instagram. Warble.
How do you
Man
spell
Ramp. It's W0RBLE. Warble. They've got a really, really cool video, like incredible, like very. So Tom Mull, who does he's Tom Dull on Instagram. He does all like the videography, like incredible eye, very, very artsy approach. They have a video called Toxic Planet on YouTube that's absolutely incredible. One of the you were talking about earlier about going like through the comments on the video. I went through the comments on that because I was just curious what people had to say about it. And a lot of people were like, "This is my favorite video that I have ever seen."
Really?
So at the Warble House in LA, they've got their roof and they got a little mini ramp built in their little backyard. And a backyard in LA is really like a whatever, like a piece of pavement.
Yeah.
And if you got that, you're stoked and you're lucky.
Yeah.
So they could gap basically from their roof into the mini ramp. So if I'm coming off the roof like this, I can gap down into the mini ramp here, and he did a kickflip into that. And I watched it recently, and I was thinking to myself, my biggest fear with that kind of gap would be that I land on my skateboard. Because if I landed on my skateboard, all hell's gonna break loose the
slip
second
out.
it hits the ground. I'm smashing my head off the coping. Nothing good can come of it. Also pretty awesome that we all skateboard, which is random.
No,
So that's
that-
something we were talking about. You used to skateboard a lot at the Shelter Skate Park, which
Oh
was
yeah,
where my
that was,
shopping
that
grounds
was
were.
my weekend home.
At
back
that
in
whole
the
put
day.
it was a very diverse layout. And what was your favorite part of skating there?
My favorite part
Like-
of skating there.
Like that was it the
Wow.
back or was it in the front, side left?
Well, I
middle,
like the handrail.
6-footer,
I
like-
like the little forced air handrail for a long time. I was like addicted to
You
that.
did that?
Yeah.
What'd you do down it?
Oh, just like a board slide. I wasn't that great, you know,
Fucking
but
A,
I
just
mean, I
that-
was
Sick,
still-
dude.
That's
That's not
really
easy to
fun.
do. Yeah.
Four stair like an actual stair set handrail.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was wide steps too. It was an oversized
Yeah,
board.
it was.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember it.
Vaguely, I only went there like a few times before they did the remodel.
Yeah,
and
fuck
then
that remodel. I gotta
Closed
say.
down.
That's when
I
they tried
didn't
to
do
attract
that.
towards BMXers.
That
Like,
was one of the few
Oh,
parks that I used to
that's-
hit when I was
The
younger.
Shelter, really?
Shelter, so sick.
That's where you
The
get
best one.
problems is when you mix everybody
Just
around
don't
in
allow
a
'em in.
closed space
That's
like
really
that,
all you
you
gotta
know?
do. No scooters, no bikes.
Yep.
World's okay.
Well,
No,
yeah,
then
when you
what
got like a
happened?
50-pound
I'd say-
hunk of metal flying at someone's
That's
face, like that's a
dangerous.
problem.
Danger, danger.
Yeah, you kick out a skateboard, your board's like fucking 2 feet by like barely a foot. And like, what's
I mean, the
gonna
worst
happen
thing that
compared to a big-
Get you right in that
hit your
Achilles
ankle or
tendon. You're,
something, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, right.
Those are
That's
Hurt.
what
suck.
we've experienced problems with at the Lakeshore Skate Plaza earlier on, was there was a lot of bikers, and like, you would think that okay, what really the damage is going to be from a peg is when you're grinding and destroying the concrete outside of the ledge.
Oh,
but
yeah.
think about when a biker lands and is bailing, that those wheels are gonna bounce and maybe the peg hits the ground and chips the ground. You know,
And that little divot right there is gonna take me out on my skateboard. Hard.
Yeah, it will really
like a
affect the way you
pebble, man.
land or the
All
way
it
you
needs
take
is a
off on a
fucking
skateboard.
pebble.
Like seriously, and that's why you should skate.
And you guys,
Absolutely. You're way cooler.
didn't you
It's
guys?
cooler too. Yeah.
Aren't you guys responsible for the park here in
Yeah,
Lake George?
we happen to be
we-
the culprits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's
not
pretty
like this
awesome.
It's so much
What did
fun,
you raise
and
for that?
I can't tell $100,000.
Wow.
And we'll share some cool. We got some cool news coming up about that whole fucking ordeal.
Don't wanna
We can't
spoil
announce
any,
it yet,
Yep.
but we've been talking to the mayor of Lake George about some cool events that we've been working on, and we'll detail you guys
Yeah.
in because it could possibly benefit both of you guys too.
Cool.
Awesome.
And but yeah, I wanted to switch topics quick. Last news, Twiddle is playing a 2-night run for Valentine's Day at the Palace Theater on February 14th, and then February 15th they're playing at the Portland Theater, State Theater in Portland, Maine. And I'm excited for them to come back. It's been a couple years since they've played the Palace Theater.
And they're also playing with Wild Adriatic,
Wild
which is a
Adriatic.
local
And
band.
Strange-
and Strange Machines represented here on my hat.
That'll be
opening.
kick ass
That
to see
will
those
be,
guys at
yeah.
the Palace, man.
You know what makes me sad though?
What?
Formula 5 could have totally been on that set list.
Yeah.
I don't mean to bring that up, but like seriously, come on. Like I don't know. I just like that could have been something they did. It's
No,
their-
it would have been
it's their
really cool.
hometown.
But you know what?
But you know what?
We gotta support our friends because they gotta do what
They
they
gotta
feel
do.
is right.
Yeah.
And
no, not upset at all. But it's just like that would have been cool.
As somebody that can't make it through more than 2 days of a music festival, I have an immense amount of respect for musicians that are able to travel for months on end.
Yeah, and those
It's not
guys
a-
have traveled.
People are
they
like,
worked
some
their ass
people,
off.
it depends who you're
Asses off.
talking to, but some people are like, oh my God, they must have the sickest life. And like in a lot of ways, hell yeah, they do. They're like
Yeah.
following their passion, the words that they're speaking, like, and they're like what they're pouring their heart and soul into, and like, you know, people are like latching onto it, and those are words that people live by. Like, you know, to like write a song and have that song save somebody's life, you know, at the like upper echelon, or whether it be that or just get them through a bad day or through a tough week, whatever it is, like to be able to do that and provide that for somebody else is amazing. But with all that being said, these guys are putting in work. Like they're, you know, like a lot of these bands, like until you reach a
Even
kind
Strange
of a
Machines.
certain point,
Strange
like you're doing all your loading in, you're doing all your loading out, you're responsible for everything. Yeah, Strange Machines,
They
great
got
band.
Brian Clausen on drums now.
Yeah.
From Haley Jane and the Primates. Fucking great
Yeah,
drummer.
We also played with Dead Set. I mean,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
I lived in
that's right.
Burlington, Dead Set Tuesdays with Zach Nugent on guitar, Josh Dobbs on keys, who also is the new keyboardist for Strange Machines. So those two, you know, the new keyboardist, Josh Dobbs, and Ryan Clausen, the new drummer for Strange Machines, have so much years and years of history and chemistry, and the things they've been doing recently are really cool, getting into some like really epic
Totally.
disco funk stuff, and they listen really well. And like all my favorite bands, it's they're playing as a unit and they're playing as a collective, and no one person is trying to assert themselves over everybody else, but instead trying to find that blend. So like, how can we all, you know, marry, you know, what we're doing together? And like Fish, they used to say, "Stay out of my hay hole." I don't know if you're
Really?
familiar with
I
that.
did
So
not know
stay
that.
out of my hay hole. So basically, Fish made it like a very active pursuit in their jamming to not step on each other's toes. So if Paige has this groove going on, Trey isn't going to try and mimic that groove because, like in a lot of senses, like that does happen sometimes. We're like, okay, Paige will down, but down, and Trey like hears it and he's like, ooh yeah, like, you know, let me hop on with that. You know, and so we can all kind of, you know, form this
like that's
this
the
cohesive
spice.
unit. But what they would try to do is basically all be playing their totally, you know, individual grooves, individual things. And when they were rehearsing, if somebody was in their hay hole, they'd say, "Get out of my hay hole." And so basically, like, let's all be doing our own thing and being creative and, you know, whatever. So like as Trey said one time, Trey, like, this isn't going to be a direct quote, but he was saying, I, as a guitarist in a band like Fish, like, I don't have to come up with anything people ask me, where do I come up with what I'm doing? He said, I don't have to come up with anything, because if I'm listening to the other instrumentalists, and if I'm listening to my band members, they're going to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And I think that's such a cool concept.
No, that
It
is
really
sick,
is.
Yeah.
And I think that's really what makes a great band, is like a band that's not really trying to, not like somebody is trying to make something for themselves. They're all working together as like a brotherhood, as a team.
No selfishness. You know?
Yes, exactly. No selfishness, no ego. It's just like we're all in this together, and let's make the best piece of music that we can right now, right here. And it's just like,
Now, mind you,
when that continues going.
if you ask Gordo circa 97, you would say Trey was playing too many notes. You know?
Oh yeah,
But,
yep.
but I don't agree, Gordo.
No,
If you're
bullshit.
listening, Gordo, I don't agree, dude. More notes, Trey.
More
I'm
notes.
just kidding. Dude, you're doing fine, bud.
More
You're
cowbell.
doing fine.
Yeah, and before we get into a little bit about you guys, I did we're doing this goofy thing just to use access of the fourth camera here, which we got a new vlogging camera here. It is this cheap $200 Panasonic Handycam that we
Handycam.
bought, and it saved our life for 80K vest. And but yeah, it's gonna be our brand new rant cam, and so
Yeah,
I just
rant.
want to give a little rant quick because I just want to bring up something that really bothered me this past week. And when you're working in a professional
Are you
field,
going to go to the rant cam?
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, not yet.
Almost.
This is no hard feelings to anybody, but it just like I don't know. I want to bring this up just for anybody who wants to do work in the video production field. All right.
Rant cam.
Rant cam. So here we go. Hey, Doug's in there too. Hey.
How's it going?
How you doing? That's my face, and them are my glasses right there.
So
Yeah.
what's the rant, Frankie?
So rant. Let me put my hand in this handy dandy.
I actually
And
love
hold
this.
it.
I'm watching it on the screen here, and I love it.
So okay, yeah, no, seriously though, working a gig this past week, and was doing this super critical shoot that required the attention of the people who were in the video to direct their attention towards the camera. So this is a big event, and it was just I was a little upset because what happened was we were, it was a big gig, and it was money wise it was something that, like, there was a lot on the line for us. And something that really upset me was that, like, we're here filming this video and of this band, and got a crew, hired assistants for this stuff, and so filming it, getting through a bunch of takes, things are going great and everything. And what ended up happening was, like, we're in this next take of stuff, and, like, what pissed me off was that, like, I was filming this thing that needed like I said, the attention of the band, because it wasn't like a regular live video. It was scripted, not scripted,
Totally.
but like directed towards us. And there was another videographer shooting that event. The event's not going on yet, and the videographer gets into the way of what we're doing by going up into the front of the stage and like probably trying to get shots for like whatever he's doing, or like Instagram. Totally get it. Like, you want to do whatever you can as a photographer or videographer to expand your career in the best positive way. And what really just made me mad was we were doing this, and he gets there, and then the singer of the band starts directing his attention towards this camera. I'm not upset that he's getting it, but I'm upset because I'm getting paid this certain amount of money to be expected to do this prolific level of a job to promote this band for the next 5 years. And I couldn't do my job because the singer was directing towards him. So I had to tell him, hey man, we're shooting a live music video, right now. I can't, is it okay if you just step out for a few minutes? We'll be done soon. Okay, yeah, okay. And then, like, I had to, like, stop and, like, do another cut of the song, and then the guy gets back into the pit of what we're doing, and does the same thing again and messes up the shoot. And as somebody who, like, I am a business owner, I fully rely on the money I make from the jobs that I do. And when I can't do my job the way I need to do my job, you know, it affects my business. And when you're there doing something for something else, that's great. But when something's going on that requires the attention of the person and it's something scheduled and like set for this, just give the other videographer or photographer a break and just let them do their job.
We're talking about a few minutes of your life.
A few minutes of your time, because like I take what I do very seriously. This is my life.
It shows, man.
Yeah, and like so when that happens, it doesn't happen often, but like I just like for those who are want to get into the video production or photography industry, don't stop. It's not about stepping on other people's toes. Like get the shots, promote the band, of course.
Oh, you gotta
But like
be
if
assertive.
you're doing something for a group or for something that's gonna help that band and you're negatively affecting it, just step away for a second. Especially when there's like 7 hours left to go. Like please. That's my one rant, and it's not to upset this person, and I'm sure they're probably not even watching it, but like it's something that's important to me to bring up. And has anybody else got anything off their
I
chest?
have a relatable rant.
Okay. Everybody's doing a rant. I'm
Shut the
sorry.
fuck out of
So-
respect, yo.
Here's what I gotta say. The other night, after we worked this event, I'm very hungry. So, you know, you look up on Google Maps, fast food open near me.
Yes.
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. A little late. You know, you gotta open up, you gotta look for the 24-hour places. Some places are open till 2. Burger King was one of them. Now, I have an hour drive from Albany to Lake George.
Did you get the Impossible Burger?
Hold on.
Just kidding.
So I'm a big fan of chicken fries. They're like the perfect chicken nuggets, longest cylinder shape, rollish. I don't know. They're like fries, but chicken. It's awesome. You dip 'em in
Super
some-
easy to eat.
dude, especially on the road.
Very
like,
user-friendly.
I'm about to go on
You
the
get 'em in a
highway.
bucket.
Give me a little carton. You just pull them out, eat a chicken strip. Love it. Open till 2 a.m. So I'm like, perfect. I saw McDonald's was close by. I'm like, I don't want no nuggets. I don't want no fries. I want some chicken fries. I want the meat.
Yeah, good.
So I'm like driving down. I'm in Albany. I don't know where I am. I'm just following Google Maps, just hopingly like, please take me to the right spot. I pass McDonald's. I'm like, Psh, don't need you. I'm going to Burger King.
Oh no, was this the one on Central Ave?
It might be. It might be. So I take a right into Burger King. All the lights are off, but you know, drive-thru might still be open. That's how things are. You know, you close down the dining room, but you know, you leave the drive-thru open. Late night, you know, people out there getting drunk, they need food. Everyone needs food, especially late night.
I'm saying.
So I pull up into the drive-thru. I'm sitting there waiting. I'm just like, all right, number 13, chicken fries. I want the medium meal. I'm gonna take a root beer. This is gonna be dank.
Sounds
And all of a
pretty
sudden,
dank.
I'm like, hello? Hi. And then like a minute later, someone's like, sorry to inconvenience you, we're closed. Which, you know what? It's okay. But can you please update your Google info so you don't let people like drive there? They had to turn around, go to McDonald's, and then pull back out like, it
Yeah,
was
it's
just a
messed
lot.
up.
You know, like, I did get a bacon cheeseburger from McDonald's. It's been a minute. It was delicious. I will say that. But
Should have
like,
went to Chicken Joe's, man. I think they're open until like 4 in the morning or
I
something.
gotta
way.
take you to Chicken Joe's. It's really good.
I've never been to
It's
Chicken
right on,
Joe's.
I think it's on Quail.
Hashtag the more you know.
The more you freaking know.
So,
Anyone else got a rant?
anybody else?
Update your Google info.
Yeah, so that's the rants. And before we get into our game that we just started, thank you, Mark Emeldorf. We are doing Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh, I got
but
actually.
before we got in that, I
have a
want to
rant.
talk to you.
I have a rant real quick.
Okay,
Oh,
let's go to a rant.
Oh.
Uh-oh, hold the phone. Daddy's got a rant. By the way, Lazarus. This is
A little farther.
This is Lazarus
little
freaking
farther.
Brown over here. I'm not
we
in the
go.
shop, but this is Lazarus
a little
Brown.
farther forward. No. If you are at a music show and there is an artist with their art on the table, please do not set your beers on or right next to the art, or even on the table at all. Respect the art. It's not a beer table. It's all good if you don't do that. So, I mean, you know, I think that's respectful for any artists out there.
Very
I've been to multiple shows where there's an artist there, and I always see it. I always see some guy putting their beer on the art table, and it's like, I don't know. That's just me. I'm sure
It
it's a
ain't
lot
right.
of other people, but
It ain't right.
positivity from here on out. Lazarus.
Getting out of the ring.
Yeah, but before we get into our game, I want to highlight some of you guys what you guys do, and Laz, we for those who haven't seen it yet, head to our YouTube channel to check out our video on Everlazt Designs, Lazarus Brown. Just a little in-depth profile on what he does. But what have you been up to since everything, man? Since we did that.
Glass Ponies album release, I kind of went over that. I've been working with Hilltop a lot. I've been doing most of their shows locally. Actually, this one cool show was over at Busty's Barbecue in Whitehall. Totally wasn't expecting this, but we like pull up. I think it's gonna be like, you know, an inside restaurant, but it's kind of like it's got a little inside area, but you like order outside. Great barbecue if you're ever like rolling through. Like that's like a pretty popular route to Vermont.
For sure.
If you're ever headed towards Burlington from
right near
the capital
Comstock
region.
Prison. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't-
gotta love that.
Really creepy
the
little
sights.
ghost town where all the houses are identical leading up to the prison.
Oh my
Super
God.
creepy. Really weird. Love prisons though. Really into all that kind of
maximum
stuff.
security. They got them.
Before I devolve into some really weird shit, well, let's bring it back to last.
So anyway, it was like an outside venue, and they had like a huge fire pit, and they got this fire. It must have been like 20-foot flames in this thing. It was huge, but they had a nice stage, and it was cool. And I hope to definitely like do more stuff there, and set up a couple tables outside. Everyone was so friendly, hooked us up with all the electrical, and it was a really nice place. And the owner actually picked up a painting off of me that I like finished right there, and then he bought it, and that was really awesome. Yeah, really good homie hospitality.
That's the thing about us small town country bumpkins, dude. You know, we look out. We have so little sometimes. You know, like I grew up in a very small town. I played Whitehall, where where this venue was. I played them in football in high school and like in track and stuff like that. So I'm very familiar with Whitehall. And you know, the nice thing about an area like that is that the people are often honestly quite humble and like really appreciative. And, like,
they were
really
great.
just like, you know, they're happy to celebrate anything that's kind of coming their way because you know, I growing up in that kind of setting, there isn't always a lot going on. So when there's something fun, cool going on, they bring somebody like you in. That's, you know, like you bring a different flavor to a town like that. And that's really cool. I know you spent some time in Schuylerville, Schuylerville for some of you guys at home.
Burgoyne's defeat.
So other than that, like, what else has been going on? Have you
other
been working on any new styles? What have you been working with? Like for any artists that are watching that, like maybe who haven't seen what you do, and like you do a lot of drawing-based designs. Like, what goes into some of the creative process, especially for like when somebody approaches you about a poster for a show that they want for what they're doing?
Well, I always like when a band just kind of lets me do what I'd like, and I also like when bands kind of, you know, give me tips on what they want. Mm-hmm. I've done multiple drafts for some bands, and that's always kind of frustrating when you're, you know, you do one and then you got to do another one, but you know, it's all part of growing and knowing, like, and once you get past like what you know what that band wants, then you know it's effortless after that. You know, you just create, and
but that first time
there's
you're
the
getting like a
satisfaction.
1/3 commission, you know.
Yeah, because it's tough when you got to satisfy everybody in the band. You can't just satisfy 3 out of the 4 people or 1 out of the 4 people. You know, you got to satisfy everybody, and it's nice when you figure out like what everybody likes. And I like doing like the cartoon style, like the kind of like psychedelic pop art kind of thing I do. You know, it's kind of got like an urban flavor
And
to
I
it.
love it, man. It's great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm still learning a lot. I like the doing this little like collage style where like I'll make a you know, the background on the painting, and I'll just do random stuff. Like I just finished this other one. It's got like 3 lips, and then it's got bees and honeycombs and roses in it. And
Nice.
you know, like with Timbre Coop's poster I did, it's got like the one eye with the fingers pointing to the eye, and then it's got like the honeycomb and the roses above like a
Very
desert
cool.
kind of landscape, and just kind of like adding that emotion, like it's like, you know, oh, and another thing I do is when I make show posters, I'll listen to the band while I make
that's
it
sick,
too.
dude.
Yeah, so you kind of get in
Kinda
that
like a live
zone,
art
and
sort
like
of, yeah.
it fits. And I just did this last one for Groove Stick and Hilltop, and I did like, it's kind of like a prehistoric kind of feel, little like Japanese kind of feel, and it's got like the T-Rex and like kind of like weird like prehistoric like pine tree things on like a rocky hilltop, and just kind of like melds together, and it's been super fun.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, man.
One thing I want to ask you, so when you go to shows and do like the live painting, do those paintings normally by the end of the night get sold, or do you kind of keep them in the back catalog?
It depends. I mean, like the ones I'm actually working on, like I will work on them, like some of them just for live stuff. So what I do is usually like I'll make an outline. I'll put gesso on there to prime it up and just have it white so I can put down the color at the show. And the only one I've really finished and sold was the one at Busty's. But you know, it's been a great year. I've sold a lot to a lot of different new friends and old friends this year, and it's just been getting better and better. And I've got to start producing more and get some new material out this year. But I think 2020 is going to be a good year for that.
Well, yeah, I was looking at your page earlier, his Facebook page, and your work is really cool, and it's a distinctive style. And you know, like as somebody that's been around the jam scene long enough, like I look at what you do, and I'm like, this he's gonna do just fine for himself. So you know,
thank you.
Keep up the good work.
But
man.
before we
Seriously,
bridge
it's
to
a
you,
pleasure.
Sam, we've talked about our first experiences, but for the public, what were your first experiences being in the jam scene?
Well, for like being in attendance
Like
or
going-
doing the
being in
art
attendance.
stuff.
1, being in attendance, and 2, realizing how important it was to you.
I would say really important would be, well, after I went to Camp Bisco for this first time, because that was kick-ass. I didn't even know what like any of this like EDM stuff was when I went. I think I was 20 years old. Me and my buddy, we were like drinking, waited to sober up. We drove out over there at like 4 a.m. and then went on on a Saturday. Didn't even know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
And like went with like a bag of chips and like a little bag of weed, and like that was it. And like a little tent, and like we were so unprepared. And
That's me still today.
but like it was awesome. And then I would say like you know, Mo, definitely, you know, that was an eye-opener for jam bands. And I took a jazz class at Plattsburgh, like this jazz history class, and that got me like into like a lot more like music deeper than even like the jam scene, like, you know, kind of branching off to other things.
I mean, the
And-
jam scene is also like, it's a microcosm of the jazz scene. in the
Yeah,
sense that
totally.
all that, you know, that improv, you know, like that's all jazz rooted in like I feel like a lot of people our age don't necessarily appreciate that and kind of scoff at jazz. At least, you know, in the unsophisticated circles that I hang out in.
Yeah, it's not John Hancock.
You know,
It's Herbie
It's
Hancock.
Herbie. But yeah, no, I mean that transition makes tons of sense. It really
yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see.
I made him lose his train of thought.
my first music festival was like New York Harvest Festival in Freedom Fair when I was like 16 years old, And like that was like kind of my introduction into like the scene itself, you know, and like all the glass blowing,
Yeah.
and all the art, and
Yeah.
like how cool just how like handmade and genuine just everything is in the scene. You know, you don't get that like out in the kind of tailor-made world, you know.
Totally. Yeah. And what you're doing, I really appreciate, because you don't go for what other artist styles are doing. It's more of just like your perspective on the art, and I like the hand drawing style because it's not like, it's detailed. It makes you feel something, and it's not something made on like Adobe Illustrator or like.
It's like the difference between a studio album and a live show.
I
Yeah.
would like to
Oh,
get into that a little
that's-
bit, like with a
And that's
combo
cool.
of like handmade and that. I really should invest in like some more
But
like
you're
electronic.
you have the principles down of being able to of conceptualizing. That's number one.
No, that is
That's
number one.
number one.
And also,
and
so
you got that. Like, that's really important.
and
Like,
we had Jess Turcott on the last episode, and what she's also an illustrator. And
yeah,
so what she
her
does
work is great.
Great, yeah.
So what she does is she does that on like pencil and paper, and then like scans it into like Adobe Illustrator, and then like adds all the color.
Yeah.
Which I definitely feel like, for an artist standpoint, for someone who draws, like that might be just like an easier way to.
or
go
even
about.
like, as she was saying, she was trying to afford an iPad, because with the iPad you could design.
Oh,
draw-
sky's the limit on those iPad Pros now. Like I know a
Really?
tattoo artist, and like he's making some cool stuff, and like make great prints
Yeah,
out of that.
yeah.
And you don't like everything's already there. Like you don't have to like edit really anything. It's just like what it is, you know.
Totally, man. And now your first experience to the jam scene. Where was it? Where was it?
So,
Where did
okay,
Sam Luke
in-
become Sam Luke?
So 2009, my friend said, "We're going to see the Dead." Didn't know what the hell that meant.
The Dead.
The Dead. I was like, "Are we going to a
and
cemetery,
just for those
bro?"
people,
Because like,
just for those people who don't know, like there was Further, there was Dead and Company, there was the other brother, there was the other ones.
there was
Who
the
was
Warlocks.
the
you know, as well.
Warlocks?
The Warlocks
But
were the
who was the Dead derived? That was what?
The Dead,
Jimmy
when
Harris?
I saw them, and I think there was multiple inceptions. The Dead that I saw, 2009, Philly Spectrum, last show ever played at the Philly Spectrum. For some of you, some of you guys will immediately be like, "Oh, Philly Spectrum." So like, I think
I don't
Philly
even know that, yeah.
1972 is like it is one of their
72 is a great year.
it's one of their live show releases. Is Philly 1972. The Grateful Dead has tons of history at the Philly Spectrum. So the first show that I went to, I was basically dragged there. My friend was like, "We're driving 5 hours to go see the Dead at the Philly Spectrum," and I was like, "Why? Like why am I driving all these hours to go see this band that I don't care about?"
Yeah.
And it sold out. It was sold out at the time because again, it was the last show at the Philly Spectrum. So that lineup was, I believe it was Jeff Chimenti on keys from Further and from Rat Dog. You had Bob, you had Phil, you had Mickey and Bill. You had so basically everybody. It was a fully original lineup except for Warren Haynes was playing lead guitar.
Gnarly.
So I think
The
there
Lorax.
was some other when they called
That's
themselves.
what it looks like. The
I think
Lorax.
when they called right? When they called themselves the Dead, I think there was a couple other people in the mix. But so 09 Philly, he's introducing me to the Grateful Dead on our way to the show. He's playing me like studio cuts of like Ripple and Uncle John's Band, like the classics, the things that kind of hook you. For
Johns,
somebody
yeah,
that
yeah,
isn't
yeah.
into jam music, like this is the stuff I'm gonna loft your way. Like how about some Touch of Grey, boy?
Oh,
So
Bring
that
me
was the
sour?
stuff that I was introduced to on the way to this concert. So we got to the concert. I see some very long-haired gentleman who looks like he, has some growing up to do, and he's offering me roofies and hand grenades or something like that. So I was really perplexed by that. Roofies and hand grenades, and I was like, dude, what, is he serious? Is he joking with me? And my friend was like, yeah, he's fucking around, dude, like hippies. I learned that later.
Don't
So,
understand yet.
Before the show,
Trooper
we're on
fight,
lot. We're on lot for hours.
What was your first experience on lot?
So,
And you
so
too.
the quintessential moment for me on lot was when I lost my friends. I had been handed a balloon. I didn't know what this balloon meant. Somebody said to inhale it. So I obliged, being a sporting lad, and so I sucked it down like it was, goddamn root beer in 5th grade. And I'm going hard in the paint, And all of a sudden, that's what I remember is like, okay, like sure. And then however long later, I came back to, I kind of browned out. You know, people
browned
fish
out?
out where they basically seize on the ground.
Yeah, I know what
I
you're
kind of
talking
I phased back into reality, and my hand was on about a 60-year-old woman's naked breast, and she was trying to put her breast in my mouth.
Okay.
And meanwhile, my balloon in my fingers right here was in her mouth. So I came back to when she was saying, suck for a suck, suck for a suck, suck for a suck. And I was mortified. So she was basically saying, like, dude, like, like you do that and I'm going to do that. And I came back to it. I was like, oh my God. So I called my friends. I was like, guys, like, this is what's happening. Like, where are you? I can't find you. I'm looking around everywhere for you. And my friends were like, dude, turn around. And I turned 180 degrees around. They were right there, dying laughing. So we ended up buying StubHub tickets for like $150. I'm like, why am I dropping $150 on this ticket to some band I don't care about? We go into the show. I liked it. They played Revolution by the Beatles. I knew that. That was cool. They played He's Gone, was my favorite song of the night. Thought that was pretty dope. And then they closed the night. It was the last show ever at the Philly Spectrum. They tore it down after this. They closed the night with Samson and Delilah. Ooh. If I had my way,
yeah.
I would tear this whole building down. Really cool. Didn't care about them after that. Thought it was fun. Whatever. Fast forward.
yeah.
That was when it was. And then further kind of started playing, and I ended up getting Fast Eddie. I don't know if you know Fast Eddie.
That
but
sounds-
Grateful Dead family,
yeah.
GDF.
Fast Eddie. What is he known for?
He is known for being the goddamn leader of the Rainbow Warriors, along with his brother Rack. They were throwing down like 70s to today. I met him. His bandana had fallen into a fire and burned, and I was wearing the same bandana that night, my first Further show, and he was like, I was wearing that bandana. Like, he actually talked to me, I was wearing that bandana for like 40 years on Dead Tour. Super sweet guy, by the way. Like, he just had smoked like a lot of cigarettes or something. But so he asked if I could, can I have your bandana? And I was like, no, dude. Like, he was like, I wore that to every show, and I was like, I wear this to every show. I've been to like 3 shows. Like, so much history with this bandana. And so I keep bashing the table,
okay.
making it shake. And he ended up stubbing me down onto the floor of that show. It blew my freaking mind. It was when they played 5 shows. They played a couple shows in Uncasville. They played a couple shows in Connecticut. They played 2 shows at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City. And then they played 1 show, Asbury Convention Center in New Jersey, Asbury Park, New Jersey. So I went to my buddy went to the first night at Hammerstein Ballroom. He was like, I'm buying you a ticket. You're coming to this second show. Blew me away. Went to the next night. At that point, I listened to the Dead a bit. I loved the song Althea. They played Althea in New Jersey. I cried my eyes out. Like, it was such a incredible, life-altering experience. And I remember, so they did a winter tour, and I remember telling my mom over Christmas break, I'm dropping out of college just to go on tour with the Dead. And she said, that still happens? People still do that? I was like, I guess so, Mom. Sorry. So I ended up doing the Dead thing, and the Dead was just the truth for me, and I did nothing but listen to them. And then Fish 09, they got back together in Albany. I went to that show.
Thanksgiving
To
run.
both of those shows.
How was
And
that
then
timber?
That timber was great, and they did 7 Ghosts to open the second
Seven Below
set.
Ghosts.
7 Below
One
Ghosts.
of the most
with,
top 10 jams of all
the
time.
only other time they did 7 Below Ghosts was in 2004 when they played at SPAC right toward the end of their tenure.
Which was a sick
They did 7
fucking
Below
run.
Ghosts. It was like
Yeah.
a 4-song second set, which was something they used to do. So after that I was hooked on Fish. I went to the Guy Utica show where they teased Guy Utica through the whole first set. It was incredible, and Fish and Dead, and it was just
Were you at the
like a goddamn
Were you
amoeba.
at the Albany 2011 Further show?
No, but they played Stella Blue, I believe.
That was the first time I've ever been open to the jam scene, and I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
And I remember this distinctively, this family, this husband and wife brought their kids to this show. I'm like, what? I could tell. I didn't know
How
the scene. I didn't experience Shakedown at this point, but I could tell at this point. I I could tell that they were like, shit. Bad idea. Bad idea here. Should have brought my kids to this. Uncle John's band ain't the same when my kids are here. I mean, they were being good parents. They were not being idiots.
Mommy, why's the balloon getting smaller?
No, what's all this smoke? But like,
Like a skunk out here.
That was a great. I remember I did listen to that show because I was super into the Dead at that point, and it was still pretty new for me. But I remember Stella Blue. They played Stella Blue with that show, and Stella Blue is gorgeous. And I just remember being like, oh, God, I wish I'd been there. John Kay. He did some cool stuff. So I had seen right before
That was the
I
only
got
time I
into
ever seen
Further.
Flash.
Right before Further I saw Dark Star Orchestra, who's playing, I think, the 29th,
28th,
30th,
29th.
28th and 29th at the Palace
Be
Theater
there.
in Albany. I saw them at the Palace Theater in Albany. It was my first time ever seeing
They play kick
my first
I've
time
never
since
seen them.
that first
I'm really
Dead
excited.
show, seeing like a Dead show, and they really blew me away. And I think it's Jeff. I can't remember his name.
Chimenti?
Not Chimenti. There's another gentleman.
He
who's taken
actually
over
played a show with
Jeff
them
Bagwell?
back in
Just
2017.
kidding.
I was like,
Jeff Chimenti, he played a show with DSO at the Palace in 2017.
No way.
Badass.
That's sick.
But yeah, so that was my introduction. And then I saw, in Troy, I saw like New Deal, Lotus, Sound Tribe, Sector 9, all these kind of bands, and that got me into the electronic thing. So like I love it all, man. Like, if it, I used to be super douchey and like arrogant about the music I listened to, and it had to be this or else it's garbage.
Sucks.
But
Now it's just got to be good.
At this point, I'll listen to anything. If it sounds good, it sounds good. Who cares what the genre is? Who cares
Damn right.
anything about it?
Damn right.
Exactly. And
So
before we get to Tooth Truth, I just wanted to get into what you've been up to lately.
Lately, I mean, well, so like I know that you were he alluded to my movie star tendencies when he was posting. It's funny because I'm not a movie star anymore. That was a big part of my past. I was a child star. And it was that sent me down a crazy road, to be honest with you. Like, so when I was, I think it was 1999. I was in the movie Fight Club, and at the time they had asked Brad, like I played the lead in Fight Club. They had asked Brad Pitt, like, we want you to do this, and Brad was like, he read the script, he didn't like it, but he ended up like entering a contract saying like, like I'm down to let somebody wear a Brad Pitt bodysuit, right? So I ended up embodying Brad Pitt for that film. It was really cool for me. I was only 10 years old, but they thought that I had a very similar kind of like Brad Pitt intensity. So I was Brad Pitt in Fight Club in 1999, which was really exciting for me because the year before, The Truman Show had come out, which starred Edward Norton. And I, after seeing Edward Norton in The Truman Show, I was like, oh my God, like to play alongside like somebody like this is freaking incredible, So that was like really my big break. It was really cool, like cult following, like really like sent my life into a tailspin.
Like a big one.
And they let me have the Brad Pitt suit after, which was sick. And it's funny. So like a couple years later, like 5-6 years later, I got it taxidermied, right? So I had that for a long time, just as like kind of this like Brad Pitt doll that I like. Hung out with and shit, and like I bounce ideas off him, and I was really lonely at the time, and like suffering from a lot of depression and social anxiety. But then I sold it to my sister last Christmas. It's completely destroyed at this point. She got a lot of mileage out of that pretty fast, I think. But so after that, I was the second lead in the movie Les Jolies Choses in 2001, and that was really cool. After that, I did about 3 or 4 years of art house flicks and hit the festival circuit pretty hard. A lot of fun. A lot of European shit that you guys wouldn't have heard of or seen, but I can link you up. And that actually all culminated in about 2004 or 5. I hosted SNL, which was insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's funny
Dude,
because
what?
you can't
Who was
even
on the cast at that point?
Oh Christ! I was literally, I was so wasted
Who's
at
your
that
favorite
point.
people to work with on the cast?
I loved working with Adam Sandler. Came back for that episode.
Dude, who's the guy from All That? Fuck.
Oh,
Keenan.
Keenan. Yeah, he's one of
Keenan.
the longest standing. He wasn't there. He was. I don't, dude. Honestly, here's the thing. Like at that point, I had fallen to the wayside of like all the like the accolades and all the glitz and glamour that is Hollywood.
Your IMDb page.
And you know,
got too
like
big.
I was that. Like I hate to say this, but I was kind of that classic child star that, went too hard too quick. So a lot of my life kind of just fell into that dark abyss there for a while. So honest, I don't even remember hosting the show. And they've taken it, like they don't have it on Hulu. They don't have it, like you can't even find it anymore.
And that's something they
I
do with
was
like Martin
told,
Lawrence too.
They literally told me, besides Ashley Simpson and Michael Phelps, they told me that I was the worst host that ever was on the show.
So it's like
Which
the
is
it's like the
really, I'm
movie
not
with,
like Michael Phelps. Oh, and Tom Green was the other one. I was like, come on, dude, I had a better. They were like, Tom Green was better. So they got rid of it. Like my monologue was horrifying. And everything. My life kind of turned into a shit show after that. And then my 20s were kind of spent. Like when I was in my 20s living in Burlington, my friends used to say, Sam is like the richest guy in Burlington 4 days a month. And for the other 26 days a month, he lives in complete squalor and poverty. So that's why like people loved being my friend on payday because you bet your ass Sam's buying shots, he's paying for everything, late night pizzas, whatever you want, we're going hard, dude. And then I literally was like coming to my friends like, please, sir, can I have some more? Right after that, like struggling, pure struggle. So my 20s, it's like I developed a smoking habit, literally because at one point I read that when you quit smoking cigarettes, you get like all this energy and your breathing improves incredibly. So I started smoking so that I could quit and see all those advantages. But I feel like you have to be down in the pit so that you can like understand what it's like to be up in the stratosphere.
So what got Sam Luke out of that pit?
Leaving Burlington helped a lot.
Burlington
Burlington was 7 nights of really high quality live music every night. Party to be had, fun to be had. Can't escape it, won't escape it. I'm a yes man. I'm not a no man. Yes ma'am.
No man.
Like daddy gonna go hard. And my ex-wife loved it when I called myself daddy. It's funny because when we would go to the grocery store, I'd say daddy's hungry when we were checking out, and they wouldn't actually judge me. They would turn their attention to her like, you're hanging out with this dude calling himself daddy. So I should probably lose that habit. But yeah, so my 20s were kind of a wash. Nothing but moving backwards. My old boss used to call it the Rambo step. They called me Rambo instead of Sambo. He said, you're doing the Rambo step. It's 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Ooh. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. But at this point, I'm working in the yearbook industry and things are popping off. I'm really excited. I got a lot of free time, a flexible schedule. I get to work with a lot of, I love working with kids. And I love working with a diverse group of pizza. I love working with a diverse group of pizza, is what I just said. People is what I meant. I do love pizza as well. Look at that. I got to keep my head up. I got to keep my head up. I keep seeing myself over there. I'm blocking this gorgeous face with the brim of my hat. It's because I got hair problems. But anyway.
At least you have it.
Yeah.
After that 20s.
But so that's pretty much, that takes you 10 years old to today. So that's 2/3 of my life.
Not that gray either, I must say.
Oh, pretty bleak. But you know what? It's all uphill from here. It's literally, it has to be all uphill from here. I don't know if I'm going to make it otherwise.
To be honest, the yearbook game sounds better than the Young Child game, the Young Child Star game.
Oh, yeah, no, it is.
At least
you
you
don't have any
like-
scope on
like-
reality.
Do you have
drugs
weekends
or
off,
anything.
I bet?
What's that?
You got weekends off, I bet?
Oh, weekends, so off.
So off.
Summers, pretty off.
So as a B-list celebrity, where were you traveling like for fun? Like,
I spent a lot of time in Alsace-Lorraine. I did a pretty strong stint, Christ, in Zimbabwe. I spent a lot of time in.
was that just to clear your head or like?
Yeah.
The
To
Dave
kind of get
Chappelle
How
away,
is it working with
to
like,
get away
like
from
with
all the
some
fanfare.
actors,
I mean, I
yeah.
couldn't even walk down the street
That's a
without
rough
getting
living.
mauled by peoples. And it was nuts, dude. It was crazy. It was literally crazy. And like, I'm not a guy that likes that kind of fanfare. I'm a very private person. I'm what you call an introverted extrovert. When Sam is feeling like being the life of the party, you bet your snatch you gonna be it. But the rest of the time, I like to be at home watching, The Office, watching some Seinfeld, doing some quizzes online, taking IQ tests
Yeah,
over and over and
BuzzFeed.
over again, relearning the test until I finally get a really good score, and then I can like have this false sense of like I'm worth something. It's been sick. Yeah, it's
Dude,
been really good. Yeah.
Fucking cheers, boy.
Yeah, cheers to the
My life is all smoke and mirrors.
Awesome. And it's time for what everybody's been waiting for. Two truths and a lie. All right, so Doug, you know the rules better than I do.
We're gonna go with 2 truths and a lie. This is 3 statements. 2 are true, 1's a lie. You know what we gotta guess? And you two at home, if you're listening to YouTube right now live, is guess the lie. And it's pretty basic. We've done this for the past couple weeks. Mark Emmendorf started it off, and last week we continued it with Just Turcotte and Joe Biss. So now we got 4 people, 4 dudes, 1 mic. We all got 2 truths and 1 lie.
4 dudes, 1 mic. That's
4 dudes, 4 lies.
4 dudes, 4 lies. Get ready. It's about to be the show of the lifetime.
So we're gonna start it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna all tell our what.
We give 3 statements. We're not gonna obviously tell you what's the truth and what's the lie, but you're gonna have to listen closely to figure out like, okay, I think he might be bullshitting me on that one. That's a lie. So if you're a viewer on YouTube, write into the chat what you think what our lie is, and we're gonna come back to that in a little bit, and I'll go over.
Yeah,
guess.
We'll come back to it right at the end of the episode after we talk about what we've been listening to, what we've been watching. So, Sam, let's start it off with you, man.
Okay, I wrote them down. So, all right, number 1, I was born on 12/19 at 12/19. That's my first one. The second one, I've seen fish almost 200 times, so like 190. I know it's over 190, but I don't. It's not 200, so it's somewhere in that decade there. And the third one is I creeped out Ashley Simpson. So Ashley Simpson, I went to the Iced Out New Year's Eve party, probably like 2005, and I tried to grind on Ashley Simpson. Really weirded her out, and she ended up literally like going backstage hiding for the rest of the night. Nobody saw her for the rest of the night. So yeah, born on 12/19 at 12/19, seen fish almost 200 times, and I creeped out Ashley Simpson in MTV Studios at the Iced Out New Year's Eve party of 2005.
All right.
a rough
Too
one.
hard, right?
All right.
It's pretty easy to creep out. Ryan Cabrera, her boyfriend at the time, loved me. Loved me. Seriously,
So-
we traded fake blings. They gave everybody fake blings. Mine was a spinner, like the rims that were like very 90s, like in early 2000s, and his was just some and one garbage, and he wanted to switch, and I was like, sure, dude.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
All right, Laz, what about you?
All right. If you were listening good, you'll know about one of these. So, I played the bass. I have tattoos on both of my kneecaps, and my favorite food is tacos. Your guess is best.
All
So
right.
one more time for the viewers.
One more time.
I
Nice
play,
and loud.
I play the bass. I have tattoos on both of my kneecaps, and my favorite food is tacos.
All right, Dougie Fresh.
2 truths and a lie. I almost became a child model. A horse.
You have the proper bone structure, so yeah.
A horse jumped on my foot once.
Oof.
And I also used to ride horses as a child.
One more time.
I almost became a child model. A horse jumped on my foot one time. And I also rode horses as a little kid.
All right.
Frankie C., what's the statements?
So, 2 truths and a lie. I was once blonde. Fight Club is my all-time favorite movie.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Sam, thank you.
I already know which one it is now.
And I played football in middle school. So one more time, Fight Club is my favorite movie. I was once blonde, and I played football in middle school. All right, guys. So this is the part of the podcast where we get down to the end. Thank you all for tuning in tonight.
Whoa.
But this is where we get down to the end, and like
Do we answer?
not yet.
Not
Okay,
yet.
okay,
Not
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
Not yet.
Newbie here. Shut up, Sam.
I do have one more piece of news I would like to share. Congress passed a bill that raises tobacco sales to the age of 21. Now, I feel like this has been in the light of...
Oh, we're already 21, so who cares?
I mean, I know. But, like, I feel like this is just whack because it's come from all of, like, the vaping controversy that's been happening, like, throughout, like, the
That
past
false
year.
narrative, yeah.
That false narrative of people, like, you know, just, like, getting real sick, dying off of vapes when it's, like, really just been counterfeit
Crappy
THC.
black market THC carts. Yeah.
You know,
I
it's
agree
not
with
the
the
move.
age thing.
But, like...
Because your lungs are still developing. I mean, they're still developing when you're 21, but, I mean... I don't know. I was smoking cigarettes when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah, it's very...
Baller!
Well, you can't get, well, no, I'm not proud of myself, but like you can get anything you want. Like I mean,
as long as you put your mind
I had
to it.
friends that had older brothers, and they would just walk to the store and buy me a pack of smokes. I mean,
You know, that's the thing. So it's like for
and the
kids,
kids
who are
they
underage...
do
But
the
let's be
Juuls
honest
and-
here. Shouldn't it be fucking illegal to smoke tobacco?
No,
I'm not
That
saying.
should be
I'm not
one
saying.
thing.
No.
Like, honestly, you should have your God-given right to do whatever the fuck you want. But I mean, in the fucking fairness of your health, like, of course you should make your own decisions. Like, I smoked cigarettes when I was young. I don't anymore. But
Well,
you
it'd
know
be a lot
what?
cooler if you did.
If it was illegal, I probably would not smoke it.
You know
Yeah.
what? Here's my thing: is that like, I almost am okay with it because like if anything, they should make a trade-off. I think you should be able to drink at 18 because if you can ship off across seas and fight for your
True.
country, you should
That-
be able to drink a goddamn
That was the
beer.
point I was going to bring up.
And secondly, cigarette smoking, there's literally no advantage. You can responsibly drink a drink or two, an alcoholic drink or two a night, and not be completely detrimental to your health. Whereas if you're smoking cigarettes on a nightly basis, guess what? It's bad. So part of me can see that if we're stopping kids, even some of them, from smoking for 3 years, and maybe it's an okay thing. But with that being said, you know, it's like you said, like, you know, they're gonna get them, you know, and you know, I don't think there's necessarily a reason to change that law. And like a kid that's not gonna smoke isn't gonna start smoking just because they can at 18.
That's the biggest thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, at least with Frank. Like, you know, if you're...
Shout out to Laz's girlfriend. Don't smoke, kids.
Don't smoke.
Oh, we all hate
See,
smoking.
like,
Yeah, she's
No smoke.
She's my chirper of guilt in my ear every time
don't
I go
want
out
to
for a
smoke.
cigarette.
No, like, and that's
You know
the
what?
thing.
New Year's resolution, Laz. Quit fucking smoking.
Oh, tried
Make
it.
more art.
Well,
See, that's the thing.
You need to
here's
probably
my
let the
theory
stress
with
out.
the age. So this is my
Sam's
my
got to go to the
sar-
bathroom, guys.
Bathroom.
This is my sarcastic theory. So they're like, well, you know, 18, they're having cigarettes, but they can't have the beer too. Why not just make it both
When you
21
need
so
the
they can
beer to
smoke
have the
and
cigarette.
drink at the same
Yeah.
time?
They really go together
so they can
too
get
well.
the benefits of both. I mean,
Very true. Very true.
Or not benefits. I mean, however you look at it, there's pros
I mean,
and cons.
they're not great, but hey, everyone
Makes you
needs
feel
a little
good at the
relaxing.
moment, but not good the next day. You know, I mean,
You know, you
it's-
gotta
trade-offs.
figure out.
it's
Yeah,
kinda
there's a
like
trade-off.
that. What goes up must come
Do you
down.
want that
I guess.
satisfaction?
And Matty B Productions, smoking's bad. Okay.
Why?
Okay.
Why? So I kind of want to go back through like some of these chats that we have not gone through yet. Chris Browser gave us a little rocker. What's going on, Chris Browser? He was on a previous episode of the podcast. I want to say it was like high 20s.
Hold on,
early
guys.
30s.
11-11. Make a wish.
All right. Chris Browser, go check out his episode. We talked a lot about, you know, just skateboarding. He's very great, influential skateboarder in the local region. The man, also in the online game. We talked about Session, Skater XL, Skate 3, Tony Hawk's, all of that good jazz. You want to check it out. It was a great episode. Backtrack.
Oh my God! Yeah, let's get towards the let's skip the just the comments about the Two Truths and a Lie, because Deanna and Maddie B have some pretty funny things to say.
Okay.
Oh, Sam,
yeah,
that's
totally.
right. Gotta
Sorry,
let
I
the
was-
movie star in here. Gotta get the
Yeah.
views back up.
Yep, you're right.
Come on, respect your celebrities, right?
See the list all day.
Yes, I played in the 20th tier jam band, and I'm more of like
20th tier.
more of like an F-list actor, honestly. Except for that,
Oh,
you know, I had a
man.
couple accolades, but Moving on.
All right.
We don't want to talk
so
about just
Deanna.
me. Yeah.
Oh, going back through the chats. But now 16-year-olds who could get 18-year-olds to buy them cigarettes, now have to talk to 20-year-olds, like, that is worse. So yeah, that's the thing. So it's like if a kid wants something, they are gonna reach out to older individuals.
But an older individual is less likely to buy it
Yes,
for a
it is.
16-year-old,
Very
which is
true.
a good thing.
That is a
you
good
know,
thing.
it's a
Oh
good
yeah,
thing.
I'd be like,
Yeah,
kick rocks,
yeah.
little
Fuck
fucker.
you, dude. But at the same time, when you were 16, you were like, dude, can you
Yeah, but you
man?
get
Yo.
serious.
That was my
Please.
problem. That was my problem as like
Yo,
a
I'll
21-year-old.
give you an extra $5.
It's like I knew the plight. I knew the plight of the 16-year-old. I mean, well, for me it was easy. I was
that's the
a superstar, you know. But I knew the plight of the 17-year-old.
Yeah.
Because once I was 17, I was back in bumfuck New York, Cambridge, goddamn country bumpkin. How we doing?
Sounds like you're the only person making it out of your town.
Yeah, and then I made it back.
Hey,
I made it back.
You made it back, though.
Yeah. It's not really a good thing.
And then Matty B.
Matty B, shout out to the guy who gave Dougie a cigarette in high school while panning for change in the streets to fund the skate park. Shout out to that guy as well.
Whoop, whoop.
I still appreciate that cigarette. Although I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, that was needed. You never, so the Lake George Village is only busy for like 3 months out of the year. And so when we're fundraising for a skate park, like
is
we're
a
like,
funny story.
hey, this would be a great idea. What if we walk on the middle of the road with some
Coin
coin
drop.
buckets,
Right in the
and
middle of fucking
people will
road,
give us
yeah.
coins from their car. It's not the worst idea. I'll give it that.
I've had worse ideas.
But like at the same moment, like
It's still
yo,
a really bad idea.
you don't have much room on a double yellow line.
Especially
like,
in Lake
maybe a
George,
foot.
dude. It's tourist central.
It's
These
tourist-
people,
they
they don't
got
care
car-
about the yokels.
Nope, and you got cars parked on both sides of the road. So that means like the people on like the far lanes are kind of scooted forward a little bit because they don't want to hit the parked cars. So that means the people in the middle are be like, and I'm like in there with like a fucking bucket, literally this size, this bucket. Oh shit, don't worry about it. This bucket, just like, hey, can I get some change? Fundraiser for a skate park. Hey, can I get some change? Fundraiser for a skate park. Went up to this one car and was like, hey, can I get some change? They're like, sorry, I don't have any change, but like, you want a cigarette? Like, yes. Yes, I want a cigarette.
Was that your first cigarette?
No, it was not my first cigarette, but I was looking forward to that cigarette all day. All day.
Yeah.
All day. I was like, thank you. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
That's pretty calm.
If you're out there.
If you're out there, if you're watching, I appreciated that
Okay.
so much.
So to get down to the music, we're gonna do what we've been listening to, what we've been watching. I'm gonna start off what I've been listening to. I've been listening to a lot of Rush, always. Rush. Is
Loud.
Neil Peart.
Neil Peart. But Alex Lifeson, Geddy Lee, fucking Rush.
Oh, Timber Coop covered a Limelight.
No
Oh.
way.
And it was fucking incredible.
Dude,
I could
gotta-
see them crushing that.
Dude.
And Mr. Pickering, and
Dan-
it's Matt
Pickering.
Pickering on the drums is a boss.
Oh, yeah.
I bet
They're
he's-
all boss.
They're all
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, man.
I lost my breath
It was
there.
on
Oh,
point.
bro.
On point.
Dude, fuck yeah. Aerosmith, I've been listening. Aerosmith, I love them. Lifelong, one of my favorite bands. But recently, I've been listening to back to the album Rocks. Rocks kicks ass. Listen to Rats in the Cellar, kids, because you'll get your mind blown by Joe Perry. And also Tenacious D, because Jack Black and Kyle Gass.
Wonder Boy.
Exactly. And then Fish Tour. I just if you don't understand, read the fucking book. But if you do, you've been to some shows and you know that every ticket that you buy from seeing Fish, you can download that show for free on the Live Stash on the Live Fish app and put it into your stash and relive the moment. And
That's really
If
bad.
you're a
way
true
to
OG,
listen.
you remember when you could download the MP3.
Yeah, you always remember where you were. And now, just to go down the line of listening to music, Doug E. Fresh.
So I've
What
been
do you
still
listen
little. I've been diversifying lately. Amine, Good For You album. It's the yellow one. Solid album. I was rocking it a lot last year. It's when I first discovered it. So listening to that a lot lately. Other than that, Mac Miller and Childish Gambino. Just playlists of just whatever. Like all their stuff's good. Give them a whirl if you haven't yet. Other than that, Wavy Cunningham, a local hip hop artist out of Albany, New York, which will be closing with one of his songs later on. Stay tuned.
Yep.
Other than that, you gotta listen to the podcast. I love listening to podcasts at work because it leaves me. I can't think about how much I'm not liking my job. It keeps me distracted.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the podcasts I really enjoy is the Joe Rogan Experience, which this last week he's had on Lil Duval, which is I'm pretty sure he's a comedian. I think he might make some music. He was on Guy Code a while back on MTV. Not sure what he's on now. But
Now, was that Guy Code or Geico?
Guy Code.
Okay, for the listeners, because I heard Geico.
I feel like he probably could have been the Guy Code Gecko.
It sounds incredibly possible.
Probably.
Lil Duval. And they also had Tony Hinchcliffe on, which is another local comedian. Well, not local comedian, but he's a comedian. He's a funny guy. It was a great episode, 3 hours long. Distract yourself with some of that when you're all done listening to the Kind of Live, Kind of Living podcast.
Exactly.
Bada bada bang. What have you been listening to, watching lately?
I've been
Listening
listening to a medley of things. I've been listening to a lot of hip hop, like People Under the Stairs, Pete Rock and CL Smooth, some Charlie Tuna, Jurassic 5. I've been listening to some like lo-fi producers like Flamingosis. He's excellent. Actually, Flamingosis opened up for Pigeons Playing Ping Pong at the Putnam Place like a couple years ago.
Yeah.
He's an awesome producer. And I've been listening to Nujabes, another lo-fi producer that I listen to. Let's see, a lot of like EDM. I've been listening to like some glitch hop, like Minnesota, Cursa. Oh God, I was at an after party, and there was this glitch hop DJ came back from the show that they were at, and this guy was crazy. He's like local out of Schenectady. Oh, I'm so terrible at names sometimes, but a lot of EDM, hip hop, definitely jam bands in between of everything. It's kind of sandwiched in there.
You got it.
Just kind of a lot of jazz. I've been listening to a lot of like Chet Baker, Thelonious Monk, Miles Davis.
The classics.
So yeah, a lot of the
Fuck
legends.
Yeah. Nice. What about you, Sam Luke?
One band, Strange Machines. These guys, I've been listening to a lot of them. Like we were talking about earlier.
Mr. Mike McDonald?
They got a Mike McDonald on the guitar. This kid shreds. Josh Jobs on the keys. So they have got a new keyboardist, a new drummer, and I also know those guys. So there's obviously I've got an affinity towards them. But with a new lineup, I think they've been doing really incredible stuff. And I can't wait to see what comes of that. I've been listening to some Eggy as well. The Wood Brothers. I freaking love the Wood Brothers. They're playing at the Palace Theater with Cat Wright and the Indomitable Soul Band.
Cat Wright will be opening that?
Yeah.
Good for Cat.
Right? Good for Cat. Bob Wagner, the guitarist in that band,
Fucking love Bob
is
Wagner.
a goddamn G. If
he made a documentary. He loves video production.
Oh yes, I know. Yeah, and then recently I think they aired it for the first time. They did like their the debut of that film. I think it was about the opiate crisis in Vermont. They did it at a location. The name is escaping me. It'll come to me later, and I'll be like, Sam, why you couldn't think of it? But they did that in Burlington. Like I said, the Wood Brothers. I'm always listening to most of the time I'm listening to old music. I love Little Feat. I love Zappa.
Yeah.
I honestly love Wolfpack. This band Lawrence, they so recently the movie Noel came out.
Okay.
It's a Christmas movie with Bill Hader and someone whose name is escaping me, another actress. She was in Pitch Perfect. But this band Lawrence, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, that's
Noel.
it.
It's on Disney Plus, and they did some original Christmas music as well as basically some not original Christmas music.
Nice.
Another album that I've been loving recently is Theo Katzman. Theo Katzman plays drums and guitar in Wolfpack, and he has an album called Heartbreak Hits, and it's basically sad songs sung but they're packaged as pop tunes.
Oh.
Really, really cool
That sounds
album. I'll show it to you guys maybe right after this.
Absolutely.
So Theo's on the cover with Jack Stratton on Mr. Finish Line, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is an incredible album. Yeah, beyond that, I've been focusing a lot of my own music recently. I'm playing a show this coming weekend with Mahali from Twiddle, and that's really, for me, that's really nerve wracking. Even as like a child star.
How nerve-wracking is it for you since you've been a child star?
Here's the thing. So tonight's my first time like on live camera since that SNL botch job.
Yeah.
That happened in 2004. So this like I hope that I did a better job tonight.
Did someone from New York say that to you? That was a botch job.
The botch job. Yeah, probably.
Go back fucking upstate.
I got it somewhere. But yeah, so that's stuff I've been listening. I mean, I like to listen to as much stuff as possible. I've been listening to some Dierks Bentley,
Country.
But yeah, there's literally I could sit here and probably talk about the music I've been listening to recently for the next 10 hours.
R&B is making a freaking comeback.
Yes,
man.
it is. And that band Lawrence, they're very soul oriented, really like. Really soulful, funky, kind of R&B oriented tunes like Wolfpack, kind of in that same vein. Lake Street Dive, they all kind of do that similar sort of jive, and I love that sound. I'm a big funk fan. I like smooth music. I like satirical kind of music, and I like as a huge Ween fan. I have a Ween tattoo. It's the only tattoo I have.
They let you star in movies with that thing?
Well, they airbrushed it. It's easy.
Not the Iggy Azalea one.
The Iggy Azalea tattoo that's on my
your
left
crotch.
thigh. It's a totally different story. I just hide that from everybody. They didn't even know that existed. But yeah, so that's what it is for me right now.
Nice. Okay, so what we've been watching, what I've been watching, speaking of Disney Plus, The Mandalorian. We were chatting about this. Mandalorian kicks ass, and personal opinion, I think it's better than the movies 7 and 8 of Star Wars. But it takes place in between
Post-Empire.
It's post-Empire. So what would you say? Like, it's right after 6 and in between 7.
It's supposed to be in between. Yeah. It's right
6
in
and
between
7,
there.
and like.
It's supposed to be like 5 years after, because they still have like stormtroopers in these little like cult.
It's pretty cool to see like.
They're trying to kill like what everyone's calling the baby Yoda, but it can't be Yoda because Yoda's dead.
Yeah.
So maybe
And
this is like
I gotta be honest,
Yoda's like long lost cousin.
And like bringing up the
Tatooine
bringing the
or
Imperial,
Endor, I don't know.
bringing up the Imperial,
The Pit of
the
Tarkoon.
Imperial, what is it called?
AT5 or something. It's AT
Yeah,
something.
But it doesn't like because when you jump universes into the 4, 5, 6 to 7, 8, 9, there's a lot
4, 5,
that
6,
technologically
7, 8, 9.
happens, right?
Right.
So, but it helps bridge the gap and like show that okay, this era just doesn't just stop and this ends. It's like, wow, this shit's like kicking around in like weird planets and like it's really cool. And like Doug, I know you've been getting yourself into more Star Wars. You watched 4, you're halfway through 5.
Episode 4.
Get with the
You know what? It's
program
all about the
because-
first 3, like a goddamn OG. How we
Exactly.
doing? It's the homies going hard in the paint. I can't freestyle. I can't rap. These are my boys. How about that?
So yeah, Mandalorian.
solid.
Sam out.
If you're,
I'm embarrassed about that.
Pick up the mic
Wow.
and throw it.
but no. But if you're like Star Wars, pay the $6.99 a month. Even wait for the season to be over to watch it all and get your money's worth. Number 2, South Park again. The new season's
so
great.
good.
The spice.
The spice, so
spice.
good.
Okay,
dude.
first of
So
all,
good.
there's no good South Park episode after anything after season 9.
Bullshit.
Crunchies, dude.
That's
Bullshit.
Nah, man.
Dude, there's so much content right now.
The one where like
There's so much content. They've got so much to pull from.
No. What,
You're crazy.
the
hold on,
Memberries were
hold on a
was the
second.
last good
No, hold
season.
on. The thing you gotta understand is this season at South Park has some integrity.
Yeah, dude, put it right there.
It's got some integrity. You realize, dude? I haven't watched South Park in 5 years. This is like so good this season.
I'm like
It's-
so excited to piggyback on this. Dude, I gave it up years ago. I gave up South Park years ago because I was like, dude,
Yeah, they
it's
got
not good.
stagnant.
But hold the phone, Chitrin. My friend was like, dude. And he was right because like there's been I mean as a as a snowflake basically as a Democrat and I'm not gonna get too much in anything, baby. I think we all got to skate that line a little bit more and meet in the middle a little bit. Done with politics. But with that being said, like ever since the 2016 election, there's just been so much material. There's been so much to talk
And
about.
they don't even just
like,
reach to the Trump thing. Like they
there's
brainstorm. They're
way
not like,
more to the.
we're not gonna
yeah.
do what your show Sean does and fucking Alec Baldwin ripping on Trump every fucking. No, it's really good.
really
Yeah,
creative.
it's
Like
really good.
like the legalization in Colorado. Like there was such a storyline that came from that, and like as well as the election. And like they really there's been a lot to pull from the last few years, and it's been sick, dude. It's been so good.
It's awesome what they're able to like translate into the South Park universe from the actual like reality.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but like the way they handled the 2016 election, at least to me, like, was probably the most perfect way they could have. Because instead of like introducing new characters, they like. I wouldn't say rehashed old ones because they were like characters that were pretty prominent throughout the whole entire episode, the whole entire series. But like they just repurposed some characters.
No, you're totally right.
Fit perfectly, and like oh my god, like it's just it's fucking iconic.
I gave up, dude. I gave up, and then the last few seasons have really drawn me back in, and now I can't take my eyes away.
Well, I guess I'm
so
gonna have to
you should
try it.
check
No,
it out.
seriously,
You
can't
really
knock it
should.
before I
Do
try
yourself
it,
a
right?
favor. It's I haven't laughed my ass off in so long, and I really have to thank Ramon for the Mandalorian and for the new South Park, because it's like I go to his house and like he'll do nothing and I'll binge out on work and but get to enjoy myself a little bit, and I really lightens up the day a little bit. And with that, YouTube channel wise, check out Jablinski Games. It's Jack Black's YouTube channel. It's fucking phenomenal. It's everything you want from Jack Black plus more. No non-scripted, just like vlog style, like Jack Black life. It's great. And just because we're running long tonight, gonna jump in skateboarding universe. Thrasher Gary responds. Skateline MBD. Gary responds to the comments, and Gary Rogers, and it's on Metro Skateboarding's YouTube channel. Check it out. And then Threat Level Midnight, The Office, as we all miss it. Released the full short movie of Threat
So
Level Midnight.
awesome.
Yeah, it's hilarious. If any of you guys seen it, I know most of you
It's
have.
funny.
You watch Office?
I went through it. I fell asleep during a lot of episodes, but
You like it, right?
I've went through.
I can't believe I even
I've,
like this
I've
guy.
went through like half the whole thing.
Well, so really quick, epic that they just did that.
Yeah.
Huge Office fan, die hard.
It's a tat to the fans. Man. It's really cool.
So I was reading up a little bit. So just for anybody that doesn't know, a couple fun facts. So the main 3 writing contributors to The Office, which I like, I kind of knew on some level who was writing these episodes, but earlier today, I wanted to know who is the main people writing these shows. So the main one, Toby Flenderson.
Really?
Toby Flenderson is the main writer.
Oh, yeah,
for
Toby
The Office.
is the main writer.
Number 2
Yeah.
would be B.J. Novak, who
yeah,
played
yeah,
Ryan,
yeah.
and the third one was Kelly. So Kelly was the
Kapoor.
third. Kelly Kapoor was the third main writer of the show.
I would say
And
it's
just
pretty
something
iconic.
fun
If
to
you
think-
haven't
I
seen
knew
it,
that, yeah.
My Name is Mindy or something like the Mindy
Yeah,
Project.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
really good show.
It's My Name is Earl, and he's a great skateboarder.
He is.
He's in all
Created the
the skates.
360 flip.
Yeah, he's got.
Stereo.
I was just about to say he's got the best tray flips.
Yes, he
Of
does.
all time.
Smooth as butter.
Smooth as butter.
Oh.
All right, and what have you been watching?
Okay.
Let's get through this fast.
So yes,
Yeah.
YouTube related, Polyphonics YouTube channel. He's been going over artists that have really revolutionized like the 2010 decades, like Kendrick Lamar, fucking Beyonce. Which Beyonce, I feel like this just came up to my mind earlier when we were talking about. I don't know. Actually, I don't even know if country got brought up, but I started thinking about it. And in that video, he was talking about how like in Beyonce's in one of her albums, she really brought back like country, like how it was like a black thing
Yep.
originally.
Yep.
I had no idea about this, but like
I didn't either, but I just said, yep. Yep.
But you know, like it kind of makes sense because like I feel like I haven't heard many like black artists sing country, but like with Lil Nas X coming out with like
No
Old Town
shit.
Road, like it past few
I
months.
love that track.
Like, dude, like
honestly.
it.
You've never listened to
You
it?
have,
It's
Frankie, because we
Billy Ray
played it.
Cyrus crossed with like
Like-
contemporary hip hop, and it's a little bit ridiculous, but after a couple listens,
like,
it's pretty catchy shit.
You
dude.
know, like you listen to like the way he like sings his verses, and it's just like it's straight up country, but it's just like the first time I listened to it, I definitely didn't think it was just some black dude like singing. I was like, oh, like he like this isn't a one person track. Like yo,
No.
like who's the feature, my dude. But like after that, like after hearing that, I'm like, okay, that kind of makes sense because like I don't know, I feel like country does sound really good coming out of
Yeah.
This might, so like a black person's mouth. I'm fucking sorry. I don't know how other way, but like it does sound good. Like I feel like I don't try to sing country, but like I have a country voice somehow. I don't know. I feel like that was really interesting to learn. And Star Wars Episode 4, I watched that. I finished that. That was really cool.
Was that the Phantom Menace?
No, it was when they destroyed the
New
Death
Hope.
Star. It was
The
when they,
first
it
one,
was the very first. It was
1977.
the very first one they came out with.
Sorry.
Yeah, I know.
Episode
First
1
one.
was
Get the
episode
fuck
1.
out
I
of
know.
here.
No, I know. Oh my god, I'm sorry. So
like,
it was the Phantom Menace, and then it was the A New Hope.
It was a New Hope.
And then it was Return
No,
of
it was a
Attack
New
of the
Hope is the
Phantom
first one.
Menace, Attack of the Clones.
Okay,
If you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4,
A
5,
New
6, 7,
Hope.
8, 9.
A New Hope.
The
was the
original
third.
three
Was
yeah,
No,
the
A New
sixth,
Hope was the fourth.
The sixth.
was the fourth.
A New Hope was the fourth.
I'm blowing it, guys. But no, back to Doug.
So
Back
the
to Doug.
very first Star Wars release,
What were your
Episode 4,
thoughts?
A New Hope, I enjoyed it. And so my thoughts on it, so I've definitely spent a lot of my life not watching Star Wars, kind of like purposely.
Samesies. Clearly.
But like there's been a lot of
Remember
parodies
acting.
that I've noticed, like especially like the Family Guy, Blue Harvest, like they pretty much ripped off like Star Wars episode.
So yeah,
the
he saw
first one.
the Family Guy episode of Star Wars before he saw Star
They
Wars.
did all three, right?
I don't know. If
Yeah, they did
Yeah,
all
they
three.
did,
But,
yeah.
but think about his perspective. He saw that the
I've-
parody
like,
before
I've-
the
So like as
Respect.
I'm watching
Respect.
episode 4, like
Not at all,
I'm like
though.
thinking
Get with the
like
program.
certain
I
scenes
know.
start like popping up and it's like I know how this is gonna play out. And I saw the Family
I saw
Guy
that
joke
Family
about
Guy
it.
episode. That's
I was
so
like, yo,
funny.
they're not gonna get crushed in this dumpster. They're gonna find a couch and it's gonna fucking work out.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
That's so good.
So no, like it was really cool. I definitely didn't think they were gonna blow up the Death Star in like the very first movie they came out with.
Very first.
Very, but like right
such a
before, I know, right? I know.
I was gonna let it go.
I was gonna try to ignore it
Because I fucked up too.
Boys, you know he deserves it, right? Because there's been so many times we've all cheers and he's
I
not
haven't
drank,
cheered.
and I had to call it out every time. I almost called you out there, to be honest.
Did you? Did I blow it?
The first cheers you didn't drink. The first cheers you didn't
Because
drink.
it's contagious. I'll like chip
so
like
contagious.
yeah. That's all.
Sorry, guys.
No worries.
It was. I'm feeling
happens.
like I missed out. Can we like
I'm itching like a
retroactively?
crackhead.
Retroactive?
Yo, let me cheers with
Okay,
my
but
water
Les,
bottle. Yes.
what you been watching, man? What do you like? What do you watch?
We're going deep. We're going hard.
Get
right
out of
now.
work.
Going
What are you
silent.
watching?
Be home at 2 o'clock in the
When
morning.
I get home, I'm usually like drawing and doing a lot of art. But when I like, break off and I'm like got like an hour left in my day, I'm usually watching like something stupid. Like, well, Seinfeld isn't stupid, but
Seinfeld's one of the best shows ever.
I know it's not stupid. I'm just saying like little like the shows. Like I watch like Seinfeld and Family Guy and like
I'm a Costanza guy.
OG
Me
South
too.
Park
I
episodes.
equate him to myself as a character.
And
Yes.
I just watched the Phantom Menace the other day.
I want that
actually.
painting.
Nice.
You know what I'm talking
Yes, I
about.
do
You know what I'm
love
talking
this.
about. That George Costanza
Over he's on the couch.
on the couch.
Or the
Kramer's
Kramer.
quite the photographer.
Kramer is
serious.
the next best thing.
The Kramer.
The Kramer.
Yeah.
What about you, Laz? What have you been watching?
Laz, first of all,
Ah.
my name is
I
not
I get to
Laz.
go both. I get to go
Just,
both.
just no.
Here, I'll be the
Just
the
for-
ventriloquist.
So I was a child star. I was a child star at 10. I was the lead role in Fight Club as Brad Pitt at 10 years old. If I'd been born, and I was born with the name Sam Luke, if I'd been born with the name Lazarus Brown, I'd be the
Boy.
goddamn CEO of a Fortune 500 company. So,
What have you been watching though, man?
what I've been watching. I just, honestly, that name. South Park. I've been watching Seinfeld. I hate to say, like, honestly, I'm a creature
I'd
of
watch that
habit,
100
dude.
times a day.
Dude, I am a creature of habit.
Yeah, me too.
I watch the same stuff, like I do. I went to with my nephew. I brought my nephew on Friday to the Jumanji opening, the second
Jablinski?
new Jumanji movie. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked that the adult characters were embodied by different characters.
Oh, the
Yes.
new
The second-
Lion King was
in the second
shit
one.
too. Sorry.
Well, as much as I love Donald, Glover, I really do love that guy. I think he's like
Atlanta is
threat.
such a
He's
good
a
show.
great actor. He's a good comedian.
great
He's an
rapper.
incredible
the
singer.
The way to watch Atlanta is feeling super uncomfortable in a hotel room in New York City.
Oh, is that how we did it?
That's how
After
I-
Snoop
that's how I
Dogg's
got-
game show?
After Snoop
If you
Dogg's-
didn't know Snoop Dogg had a game show, because he does, look it up.
Was it how
So
much
what else?
weed can you
anything else
smoke
you've
or
been watching,
something?
I've been watching SNL because I love the history of the show and I hate the
That you're
current
not on it,
cast
right?
and I
Yeah.
think it's pretty terrible. But you know what? When
My
I watch
cousin's-
current
my
episodes,
cousin's on
I think I
SNL.
might get a chance to come back.
My cousin.
I might get a chance to come back.
That'd be
you
My
know?
cousin Anthony Cavallari is a background actor on SNL and has
Right
been for the
on.
past 20 years.
No way.
Yeah, no bullshit. Yeah,
No shit.
He's been on there for like a lot of the recent. The way it works is like you'll be on a list and like he's on the list and like he gets called in for a lot of stuff and like.
Nice.
But yeah, he lives in Hell's Kitchen and has a
Wow.
pretty good life. Yeah,
No shit.
yeah.
Oh, next time if you're ever in Hell's Kitchen, go check out Rudy's.
Okay.
It's an old dive bar. It cheap drinks, like the cheapest in Manhattan.
shit, okay.
And every drink you get a hot dog.
Fuck it. I want a hot dog
Yeah.
right now.
I always want a hot dog.
Duct tape covered booths, like
Sounds like we're
those
taking
old,
an Uber down
like
to
it's all
Rudy's.
covered in duct tape just because of all the rips over the years. A
Yeah.
nice seasoned bartender that won't look at you for like the first 5 minutes you're in there. Like it's great.
So beyond beyond that, I love Stranger Things. You know, that's a
Nice.
show that
I've only
I watch.
seen 1 and 2.
1 and
Same
2.
here.
That's
the
it.
third season is it kind of breaks the mold a little bit.
I would still like to see.
I
it,
love
though.
the for like the
characters.
first season in particular. I love because as somebody that grew up in the era of if you think of the movies and you might know like Goonies, Stand by Me,
Ooh.
you know Goonies
yeah,
and Stand by Me like I see the first season of that as like a total hybrid between those movies as well. Yeah, the Goonies, Stand by Me. There was one other that I can't think of.
Is it The Outsiders?
No, but that's
No.
a good one as
Yeah,
well.
that's
Yeah.
There you
Like
go,
I
funny
just
boy.
really think it kind of captures this.
Yeah.
You know, it really does the '80s setting really well.
Yeah.
Other than that, like I said, I'm a creature of habit. I've been watching Seinfeld. I watched The Nap earlier. It was an episode where Kramer he's got back issues, so he's swimming in the East River. So basically,
Oh
he's, like,
yeah.
swimming in the Hudson, which is really screwed up. I remember there's like some parent, like a dad and his kid out there on a boat, and the kid's like, "Oh my god, like there's somebody swimming over there," and the dad is like, "Yeah, no, that's a dead body, son. Like nobody would be swimming out here." I actually really quick to end my what I've been watching is like I watched Seinfeld. Like this is how big of a Seinfeld fan I am. I watched Seinfeld to the point where Hulu. I put on the next episode of Seinfeld, and a message came up on the screen. Tell me if you guys have ever experienced this. I haven't, besides this one time. A message came up on the screen that said, it was basically like, you watched enough.
You want to check some out?
You watched enough Seinfeld. You know, for the last, month. You know? So just, let's choose a different title. So you bet your ass. I logged into my mom's account, kept watching Seinfeld.
There you go.
Nice.
Fuck
Do
the
it.
system.
Yeah, and now to get two truths and a lie.
2 truths
We're
and
gonna
a
go through
lie.
it one more time. Let's read what our commenters have to say, and I just want to give a quick shout out to Deanna. BJ Novak wrote a book, and it's amazing. We'll have to do some research about it.
Yes.
That sounds cool.
I will trust anything he's written after The Office.
Fuck yeah. And but yeah, so okay.
Okay, well, we'll start off with Sam. We'll go down the line. Tell us your 2 truths and a lie. We'll all guess.
You guys
I'll
will
read off the
respond?
commenters,
Yeah.
and then you'll tell us what the actual
All
answer
right,
is.
so I was born on 12/19 at 12/19. I've seen fish almost 200 times. And I creeped out Ashley Simpson at the 2005 Ice Out New Year's Eve party to the point where she didn't show her face the rest of the night.
So no one commented on you, but I'm gonna call bullshit.
Wait.
Oh wait.
Birthday is real, but the time is a lie.
Okay.
So
That's
they're
maybe.
saying number one is bullshit.
And I'm gonna say that you've seen fish nearly 200 times is bullshit.
Yeah.
I am gonna say, hinted earlier, I was gonna go with the Iggy Azalea tattoos on your knee. Actually, no, that's the one I'm going for because.
But I didn't. That's not one of them.
Yeah, Jack.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait, what were they again?
12-12.
12-19 at 12-19.
You have-
Seen fish almost 200 times. Creeped out Ashley Simpson.
Oh shit, dude, I'm fucking dumb. Oh yeah, creeped out Ashley Simpson. I don't know why I thought you said
You don't buy
tattoos
that,
on your
okay.
kneecaps.
Oh wait, what do you not?
Fish, Ashley Simpson.
I don't buy the fish one because the only guy I've ever met who went to 200 fish shows, his dreadlocks were like growing into the ground. So I don't know.
So
Let's
we
hear
got
it.
two winners. I've
I know.
seen fish like 50 times.
Let's hear the story quick about how you creeped out Ashley Simpson though.
So my friend in high school, I'm gonna do this really fast.
Yeah.
My friend in high school, his aunt Judy DeGrath, she was the president and CEO of Viacom, which owned MTV, Comedy Central.
Yeah.
She got us VIP passes to the Ice Out New Year's Eve party. So we went to the Ice Out New Year's Eve party. We had green room access. We were chilling with like Fat Joe, Ja Rule, Snoop Dogg, Christina Milian, Lindsay Lohan was there. Green Day played. They had just come out with boop, 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 whatever that song was, American Idiot, as well as
downfall.
Gin and Juice. Snoop Dogg, dude, we were like hugging and
So
shit.
what happened?
So Ashley Simpson was out on the floor. My friends, we were all like 15, 16. My friends were like, dude, I dare you to go like try and dance with Ashley Simpson. I dare you. I'm gonna say it louder in case I dare you to go like dance with Ashley Simpson. So I went over. I saw she was leaning against the wall, and I creeped in behind her, and I said, like, how you doing? Like, you want to groove kind of thing? And like started like doing like one of these behind her. She turned around, was really creeped out. That's when I ran into, really quick, end of the story, Ryan Cabrera. Wasn't a joke. That was where you could probably, most of y'all don't remember Ryan Cabrera, but he was dating Ashley Simpson at the time, and him and I switched our fake blings. It was the iced out New Year's Eve party, so they gave everybody a fake bling on their way in. Mine was a spinner, like a rim, and his was an and 1-1. We switched. Whatever. Creeped her the hell out. I actually walked into Christina Milian's dressing room as well on my way from to the floor from the green room, and there was a couple like MTV VJs that were like, "You can't come in here." Like, I bounced. But yes, no, I've seen fish like 50 times. So
All right.
So
Yeah.
your
Nice.
situation with Ashley Simpson ended quicker than her music career.
On SNL.
the only person that embarrassed himself more on SNL than me was Ashley Simpson. And guess what, bitch? I scared you off the floor. Bye bye. I'm gonna party with my boys.
Oh shit.
All right, Lazarus Brown.
All right, so mine was I play the bass. I have tattoos on both of my kneecaps, and my favorite food is tacos.
I gotta say tacos because something as outlandish as 2 kneecaps almost has to be true for the integrity of the game. I also don't.
You're looking on my paper.
No, I
You ruined it.
I'm gonna go with that too. I think the tacos. I think the tacos one.
I'm gonna go with the kneecaps because I now realize that's what I thought was Sumo.
Here, let's get a good
So
image
in
here.
Maddie B, Laz doesn't have tattoos on his cheek.
Oh my
Well,
god.
Maddie B.
Holy shit. I literally I couldn't believe it, but I was like, I have to because
I actually do have them.
wow.
And I was
Wow.
because
How
I was
bad did it hurt?
because I was a crazy 19-year-old
boy.
kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely
God
hurt
damn.
pretty bad.
All
See
right,
you
Doc,
later,
What
boy.
about you, man?
Okay.
So
that's
actually, wait.
insanity.
So my favorite food is actually pizza.
Me too, dog.
Cold cheese on it.
All day, every day.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. That's how we do it. Yeah, we missed the first time, and then we hit the second.
Unlike Ashley Simpson.
Very much. We missed the first time. We don't get another chance. I I like him. I like this guy.
I like you too.
Can I keep him?
All right.
Shit.
Fresh eat.
All right. Two truths and a lie. I almost became a child model. Did our main shot just go out?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go shot of just me. I almost became a child model. A horse jumped on my foot one time, and I used to ride horses as a child.
The lie is you used to ride horses as a child.
Okay.
Because you have the bone
You were
structure,
no
boy.
almost child model.
Okay. What you think, Frankie?
So as I'm changing these batteries, I need you to reread those.
So I almost became a child model. A horse jumped on my foot one time, and I used to ride horses as a child.
Just so you know, I said I do not believe that he used
I'm
to
going
ride
with the
horses.
horses.
Not horses.
No child model.
No child model. Let's refer to the comments. Doug was never almost a child model by Maddie B Productions.
He's been wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, Maddie, you don't know squat, bro.
So what was it?
So the lie was I rode horses as a child. That was not
So,
true.
Not
2-0.
true. Yeah. Oh, wait, one more time. One more time. Look at my elbow.
Oh, 3-0. I knew
Wait.
your thing too. You hate tacos.
Oh, I love tacos.
That was
It's
his
not my
thing,
favorite
dude.
food. It's not my favorite. Pizza's
Okay.
my favorite.
Pizza's your favorite, right?
And then tacos.
And then
That's
tacos.
the catch.
On Tuesdays.
course.
Okay, my three.
Any day.
Fight
Yeah.
Club was my favorite. It is my all-time favorite movie. I was once
Thank
blonde,
you.
and I played football in middle school. And
I
like,
would say that
hold
you...
on.
So for comments, Maddie B Productions, Frankie never played football.
Same.
I'm gonna go with what was the middle one?
I was once blonde.
What was the other one? Besides
Fight
football?
Club was my favorite movie, and I played football in middle school.
All right, I'll
Wait,
go
was the
blonde.
was the blonde bleached or was it natural?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Well,
Oh,
I
shit.
mean,
Had to have been bleached.
Oh,
Well,
shit.
go out on a
you
limb
never
here.
played football in middle school then.
You're all wrong. I've never seen Fight Club.
I'm personally insulted by this, dude.
I know.
Like, that was literally my most acclaimed work. Holy shit, dude! I got literally, I got a room full of
have a lot of
DVDs in my
homework.
house.
Damn,
to do,
shoes just
mister.
keep dropping. My bad, guys. I think I moved into the desk.
Well, this is what happens when the show gets to almost 3 hours. We start knocking shit
The
over.
winner is here.
Oh man.
So Frankie wins,
Frankie
baby.
Devone.
He deserves it. He
myself on the
deserves
back.
it. Yeah. So many pats on the back. Look at that guy. Oh my God, his back is red
You
as
remember
hell.
the different claps, like the ketchup,
the ketchup clap.
I don't remember that.
Pound of 57.
the
dude.
ketchup,
I-
or the
you know
or
what I
the
do
round of
gotta say?
applause. Or, I don't
This
know.
has
There's
been-
like other ones.
This
but.
has been a fucking amazing podcast. And Sam Luke, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me,
Everlazt
guys.
Designs.
Thank
Les
you
Brown.
so much.
Dude, thank you guys so
Kinda
much
just
for
had
coming
to-
on. This has by
Pleasure
far
to
been
meet
our
ya.
longest podcast, and
Oh,
it's
shit.
been one of the most fun ones we've done in all 36 episodes. So thank you so much. And as you guys know, you can re-listen to this, or if you're listening right now on the Kind of Live, just iTunes and Spotify, we're available everywhere.
We're available everywhere.
YouTube,
Spotify, SoundCloud. Check us out on YouTube and subscribe and get notifications if you want to be a part of the live broadcast and comment on as well.
And as of today, Doug created a brand new side YouTube channel.
Kind of live clips.
So-
So check that out tomorrow. I already have some videos posted up from the last podcast, and then this podcast, those clips will be posted up relatively
Kind of like a
this
JRE
week.
clips.
Yeah.
Like,
JRE clips, yes.
That heat
so,
shit. That heat shit.
So if you want to
and shout out to Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Yes,
the
Joe
man.
Rogan. Yeah.
So yes, please stay tuned to Mirth Films. We got a lot going on. Please stay tuned to our podcast. Subscribe, notified, give us a rating, all of that jazz. Thank you for
Yes.
listening in.
And we're gonna end this off with some Wavy Cunningham, some awesome local hip hop. But
Ooh,
just to
Yeah, wavy,
just
boy.
to end things quick here, this has been great. Head to mirth-films.com for all the latest alternative news, live music coverage, original podcasts, original video content, merch, all that. It's Christmas, it's holidays. Get that stuff for your kids and your boyfriend and girlfriend. And
Everybody.
my name's
Mama
Frank
love
Cavone.
it. I'm Doug Quimby.
And this has
Lazarus
been
Brown.
the Kind of Live, Kind of Living podcast, episode
You know who
36.
he is.
Sam Luke,
Lazarus
Brown. Thank
We
you
love
guys so
y'all.
much for coming
Have
on.
a great night. This is Market Projections
Wash that
by
ass, kids.
Wavy Cunningham.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yo, shout out my mom, that's the real OG. For real, for real. Hey. They doubted me in the second quarter. It's back to business, just had to get some affairs in order. I ain't losing my value, nigga, I know my word. Fuck you thought, if you scared, nigga, go to church. Pray, nigga. Bring it back, Wavy Mercy, Wayne, and Manny Fresh. I done got so high off that recycler, I ain't landed yet. Had to take advantage, life to change before you even blink. Someone tell my sons to change their diapers, cause them niggas stink. I got that juice, I got that orange tang. Niggas fucking up for clout, now they thinking they bang. Thinking they gang, gang, gang. They ain't gonna be thinking anything when they brains hang. You know what I'm saying? We are not the same, I'm in different drip. Pulling up without a license and expensive whips. She been calling all night, it's about to be a dub. I don't wanna turn her out, I'm running out of love. Hey, they tried to put me in the corner, but I don't do well in tight spaces with all these two faces. I change paces and trade places. Underground A-list, I just unplugged from the matrix. Always talking about me, when I see them, they don't say shit. They blow all they cash cause they thinking they'll get famous. Ain't no profit margin cause them niggas never made shit. Tryna make a couple bands off of dividends. Have my family spending all my ends. You can't take it when you're gone. Run it up, run it up. I could bring you through my life with these songs. Roll up the strong. I told her we ain't speaking so long. What's going on? Are the feelings that you had still there or are they gone? Hey, she said they're gone. Out of the picture. She'll probably be back when she see me getting richer, right? They tried to put me in the corner. Now when they go up for the deck, I leave them hanging. Need that R-E-S-P-E-C-T, rest in peace Aretha Franklin. I pray that these niggas ain't second guessing what's in the chambers. Best friends become strangers when their integrity is in danger. That's why I can't keep it cool with y'all. You knew she was coming home with me, you just trying to stall. Hey, I'm that nigga, I'm that nigga, I'm that nigga. Pouring shots for all my bitches, rolling Dutchess for my niggas. I'm that nigga. We be counting different figures, we be in and out of trouble, but we real with our intentions. Hey, these days, we the only niggas putting on. Don't bother mentioning them lanes, we can't name a song. I'm just waiting on a wire while I hit the bomb. They only tell you that they love you when a nigga gone. Hey, they tried to put me in the corner. Never, nigga. They tried to put me in the but I don't do well in tight spaces with all these two faces. I change paces and trade places. Underground A-list, I just unplugged from the matrix. Done with all that fake shit, all that imitation. I just saw some UCs heading to the station, waiting for the plug to drop a pin for the location. Making money moves even when I'm on vacation. About to go public, the projections are amazing. Sitting at the Wendy's in the parking lot blazing. Waiting on the plug to drop a pin for the location. Yeah, yeah. But I don't do well in tight spaces with all these two faces. I change paces and trade places. Underground A-list, I just unplugged from the matrix. Unplug from the matrix. Done with all the fake shit, all that imitation. Yeah.